your Nomad at night, starring the one and only Nomad.
Yo, Super Nomaniacs. Welcome to Super Nomaniac Lounge. I'm your host, Nomad. I got my truckies with me today. My guy, the Canuck, and my guy, Trips, is down there mopping up the finishings of probably a double bacon cheeseburger or something like that. But
just single.
Oh, it sounded righteous when he told me. Got me hungry, and we just started the show, and that ain't fair. But nevertheless, we got to keep going. We got to keep moving with the show. So what do we have for you tonight? Oh, before I even go there, let me tell you guys, tomorrow, I know we were supposed to do a Nomad Live yesterday, but I'm kind of moving the schedule around and trying some new stuff. As I told you guys when I did the couple of single shows. Tomorrow we penciled in Glenn Morgan, formerly of NBC Sports Chicago. He wants to come on at 8 p.m. Central tomorrow, so we're going to try to put something together for that. Hopefully he can make it. I think Trip will be there. Hopefully we can get the Canuck, but we'll see. But yeah, look out for that tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central. Hopefully we may do another show. I might do another show Friday, but we'll see. But yeah, I'm just trying to make good on the promise of giving you guys some more content because you deserve it. And we love you guys for being here, you Super Nomaniacs. But let's have some fun. All right, let's start the show off giving out some pleasantries. And when they get done talking, I'm going to kind of start the conversation off with what you saw on the thumbnail, because I do feel like the Bears are beginning to find a rhythm, and I'll explain to you why with a couple of videos, kind of bow tying this whole thing up and putting it together for you guys. But we'll get to that. When we get to that, let me pass it on to Canuck for some pleasantries before we get cooking.
Hey, yo. All right, let me give you guys a little bit of love for showing us some love. Get right into it. Big shout outs to our guy, it's Crimson. Yedig, number one no maniac in the chat today for some extra sauce. Who else is with us? Our girl, Patty Laura's holding it down out there. The Planksters rolling with us as per normal. Big shout outs to you. Big shout outs to She Plank and the Plank family. Mad love to the number two no maniac, our guy Cornelius Squalls. What's cracking, Cornelius? We've also got, who else is out there? Ralph Love is out there. Mad shouts to all our regular no maniacs. King Booker World, Bear Truth 9, Mofugra, our guy the Nudge. Mad love to all you guys. We'll expect you guys in sooner or later. Regardless, let me throw it down to my guy, the 3 R's. What it do, Triple R?
What up, Nomad? The Canuck. I got some maple syrup today too when I was shopping.
Oh, looky there.
And what's up to the dude chilling? All the no maniacs, always nice to be home. But first, got to give a shout out to the people of the southeastern part of the United States that's dealing with, Mother Nature and her fury. They going through it right now. And, y'all stay strong, keep your head up, stay dry, as much as you can. It's their turn to go through it, and one day it will be ours. It's not today, hopefully, but it will be. So just keep striving, and just looking forward to seeing what's going on this evening.
Yeah, man. Let me ditto that about the Southeast right now, because they are struggling. I got a particular commentary about that part of the country anyway, man. I just think Mother Nature is she's basically collecting tokens right now, man. It's like she wants to reclaim land, and those in the way of it are just in the way of it. Insurance claims be damned, you know what I mean? But yeah, that's a whole other conversation for a whole other show. We'll leave that there. What we came here to talk about tonight to begin with is the Chicago Bears. And first of all, before we get into
She Plank.
Hey, what's going on, Sheep Plank? How you doing? Before we get into the details of what we were talking about on what I'm talking about on the thumbnail, let's get a quick round robin discussion about what we saw last week against the Rams. Did we like what we saw? Did we feel encouraged, kids and Trips? What was it about what we won? We got the win, of course, and that's joyful for the week. But did you see some encouraging stuff that makes you look forward to next week and we feeling like we got something going here?
Yeah. And right off the bat, I'm gonna give a shout out to our guy, friend of the show, Greg Gabriel. I was listening to Greg a little bit this week. Greg seemed very happy and optimistic. I'm not quite as happy and optimistic, and that's just me. Y'all know me. But at the end of the day, he brought something to light about this team and what he saw last week that I didn't necessarily notice. And I think it's important for you guys to understand. And it's really just that over the past few weeks, defenses have really been keying in on the run, loading up that box, 7, 8, 9 guys in there, ready to just make sure that DeAndre Swift got absolutely nothing going. And that was basically the result as far as the game was concerned, right? Directly after that, if we're looking at this past week, they kind of figured out how to manage that 7, 8, 9 men in the box situation. And they had a little bit of success doing so, which kind of forced the Rams to change their plan. The real upside to that is that, where things become optimistic is that week 5, again, you're looking at a Panthers team that's very likely going to come to the table loading 7, 8, 9 into the box. And that's now the expectation. So if they were able to manage it in week 4, I believe they'll be able to manage it in week 5 as well. And if that's the case, we might actually see a bit of a boost by way of offense this week, or at least that's my thinking.
Well, I would like to, first of all, give a shout out to Shane Waldron for taking accountability for his lackluster performance the previous week that the team coaches had to holler at him about. And I could see that there were plays where it looked like Caleb Williams was being conservative and taking the check down, which is fine because as the expression goes, you never go broke taking a profit. But there was quite a few plays that looked like he left some meat on the bone.
I like that. I like that. Never go broke taking a profit.
Right. You know what I mean? You get your first downs, keep moving the sticks, you all good. But there were some plays where it looked like Rome and DJ were like gone. And it's like, just get him the ball and that's a tutty. But he didn't. And I think that will come, as he gets more comfortable, with the NFL, with the defenses, with the offense, all of that together. And so it's coming along. And so I'm optimistic because I can see that their yards and points that are left on the field by this offense. Now, this whole penalty and lack of discipline thing, I'm looking at you, Flus. You some of a bitch. I don't give a fuck about your Drippy. I don't give a fuck about your Rizzy. I just care about your coaching knee. And it's coming up lackluster like a motherfucking knee.
That's that good big Latin right there. That's a good big Latin.
I don't know what to do. But listen, all right, what we're about to get into here is, all right, let me break this down. Kedz is familiar because we've been talking about this for the entire offseason, leading up into preseason, going into week 1. We've been saying this over and over and over again. This offense at the very beginning, like the first 4 games, here's what I think the formula always was and always will be. It should be for all the really good organizations out there when you got a new offense and a new rookie quarterback. The first 4 weeks should be almost an exploratory phase. It's like you're finding your identity. It's like an infant. Talking about the offensive playbook, it's an infant. And what you're doing is you're figuring out if this thing is ready to walk. You're crawling, basically, for the most part, and you're trying to find out. So basically, your first 4 games is just finding out who you are. And we've said that time after time after time. We tried to preach some patience to everybody and not get too overly whelmed with the results as much, and really pay attention to the second 4 games, which is that's when you're hammering down. You figured out kind of who you are and what your identity is in the first 4 games. Now you want to hammer it. You want to hammer it down and make sure other teams across them, you feel that and they know exactly what you are. You're going to either be a running team or you're going to be a passing team. You're going to be one of those teams that really make it your intention that you're going to have to stop us on the ground. And for the first time, even though we did it in a myriad of ways, the ground attack was effective. The screen game was effective. So the low area plays where, you're talking about the 0 to 15 yards and out, those plays were more effective than you've seen them all year long. And so it was just really about figuring out your personnel. And this is Shane Waldron, in the situation that he's in. This is Shane Waldron, and this is true for any new coordinator to a team with all new pieces, with a brand new rookie quarterback. You got to figure out how to fit all of that. Run plays that really, really fit the personnel that you have, and that's what the first 4 weeks will bring to you. Finding out exactly who you are. Those next 4 weeks, you're just going to hammer down exactly what you want to be. You start to find your identity and a formula, and you really want to push it to teams. And the next 8 games after that, now you're starting to get ready to make your run. You've established who you are. You found out in that playbook what to do with the pieces that you have. You hammered it down. Now it's time to make the run with the team that you have. And that's what I think is overwhelmingly true with this team right now. If you look back at the first 3 games, the first 4 games, it was exactly what I got through saying. It was something that we've been saying for a long time. Sounds like to me, like some people around here on this network kind of know what they're talking about. You know what I mean? So I'm not surprised by any of it. And I'm just glad to see that, they're finally finding the flow. But to further that conversation, give me a second. I'm gonna share my screen. We're gonna look at some videos. Of course, I got to start and stop it because that's what you have to do for YouTube. But this O-line committee did a pretty good all 22 breakdown. They made it simple. They made it plain. They're not trying to get too far into the weeds about what's going on in front of you. And I like that kind of breakdown when it comes to giving you guys content, because sometimes people can try to make it a little too complicated and you really don't know what's going on. But I don't like doing all 22. I prefer for somebody else to do it. And here's my opportunity. About to show you guys. All right, here we go. Let me get to it.
All right, while you're pulling that up, just a little private note. King Buka World, my brother, how did you mess up the Lunch Lady Pizza when Chef Trips, the owner and proprietor of Shea Trips, gave step-by-step instructions? What the fuck, bro? The fuck? Okay, go ahead.
All right, here we go. So check this out, Nick. If you can throw this link into the description, if you can, you don't worry about it. I'll get it after the show if you can't. But check these guys out on YouTube, man. They do a pretty good job. You talking about guys that got 16 years playing offensive line in the NFL. So, excuse me, they kind of know what they're talking about. But here we go.
All right, it's been tumultuous for the Chicago Bears. We've already had some come to Jesus meetings about the offense. People are panicking about the coaching staff. They did put together a couple drives in the second half. They are 2-2. So let's break down one of these scoring drives here. I think we might even queue up 2 of them here for the Bears. Caleb Williams, Phil Mackey with 2 former NFL offensive linemen, Jeremiah Searles and Alex Boone, 16 years in the National Football League trenches. Let's break it down here, gentlemen.
Yeah, I think they may have heard us last week when we were like, hey, you should get Swift more involved in everything.
Yeah.
Like, let's not just lean on a rookie quarterback all day to get it done. What would he do against the Colts? Was it 52 pass attempts?
That's not where you want to be.
52 pass attempts. Not very sustainable for a rookie quarterback to be throwing the ball 52 times. At some point or another, they were going to have to start getting under center. Why weren't they doing it in the first place? My opinion was it was obvious to me that Caleb Williams wasn't all that comfortable. His snaps under center just didn't look comfortable the first few weeks of the season. And they did what you obviously would do. Get him in position, put him in RPO, shotgun, empty. That's where he's more comfortable. And you have to do that in order to keep him coming along and keep him progressing and feeling comfortable with what he's doing. But eventually it always had to get to what you see right here, Caleb under center in I formation or single back and starting to play football that way. Later on during this film, they're gonna show you a particular play where we were talking about kids for a couple of weeks. He's got to get to a point where his actions are starting to freeze the linebackers and the safety, right? Remember that conversation, kids?
Mm-hmm.
So during this film, you're going to start seeing a little bit of that. But let's go.
We're
Not
like,
where
hey,
you wanna
Bob,
be.
that is not even close. But all of a sudden this week, you start handing it off to Swift, you start throwing it to him, and all of a sudden things start opening up, things start breaking loose. And that's really what it is early on in the season, you're trying to establish your identity. So no matter what happens, you have to stick to the course, right? Like, hey, we're going to come in here, we're going to run the ball this amount of times because we need to prove to people that this is who we are. Because if you just go in here and go, hey, we're a run first team, I'm like, show me the film. Right? Like eventually you have to come up and prove it to everybody. And I think this is one of the games where it's like, okay, this is really who you are. I picked the Rams to win. I was like, okay, yeah, for sure. Stafford's going to come in here. He doesn't have Puka Nakua. He doesn't have Cooper
we
Kupp.
can
He's
really
still going to get it done somehow. And all of a
commentary.
sudden I'm watching Caleb Williams get it done. And not only that, but Swift and other guys don't be stupid with these young.
Because you know what
We
they
don't need you
say.
as much as you think we do. We can lean on other people at times. We don't need you as much as you think we do. We can lean on other people.
They were dropping some dimes in here, so I encourage people to go watch this entire video and listen to all the commentary. But Trip is right. For the sake of doing the show, we're going to go and whiz past some of that.
Times, or we can throw the screens, and this was one of the.
Yeah, here we go.
Jay, talk us through the first part of this here, and then we'll see. So this is Bears need some points. Let's look at a couple different scoring drives. It's kind of fun to look at drives, like not every play is in here, but just some of the concepts that they're trying to.
It's nice to see that they realize that Cole Kmet's also back on their team. I mean, he was a Pro Bowler last year, right? I mean, he's
in the first 3 games, him being under center and the timing of the play action, him going just dropping back, faking the handoff, and the timing of him getting that ball out seemed a little bit clunky, to say the least. He's just taking what he sees in front of him. I see a one high safety. It might be another safety back there beyond the screen, but I'm not sure what he's looking at unless they show another angle. But here we go.
very good all around tight end, and they do some nice things. They line him up in the backfield. They come through. They put him on a one-on-one with the linebacker Christian Roseboom, and he just does a great job running a nice route. But you start
that's the play right there where Rome is running free like a slave on like the day after he ran from the plantation. He was just running, and there was nobody else out there because it was single high safety. He took the check down there to Kmet, and that was a first down, but he left that touchdown dangling out there, I think
that's just him being mechanical, trying to do what the coaches are telling him, just take the easy stuff.
Well, that's the fear that it's like he understands you're not supposed to turn the ball over, but part of what made him, the Superman #1 pick was the ability to make plays. And I'm not saying, run around out of the pocket and make plays, but just chuck it to the open receiver who's running for a touchdown making play kind of thing.
I hear you. But, never know what he's looking at the full angle. I hear you about Rome running free. But what was that saying you just gave, Trips, that I like?
You never go broke taking a profit.
Never go broke taking a profit. He took the profit. So we keep going. Oh, I'm on the wrong damn video. Sorry. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. Oops, my fault. Here we go. Can y'all see this video?
Yeah.
Drive with play action, right? This is a run. You're in base offense. So you're in 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, 1 running back. So you get base defense on the field, which means you have 2 linebackers instead of the Rams love playing just a 1 linebacker set and get an extra DB on there. But when you line 2 linebackers up and you put Cole Kmet in the backfield, it creates a mismatch.
I'm going to rewind this just a second. Watch Braxton Jones over here get walked. Put on
at number 8. What was that, Verse?
No, I think that's what's his name from Tennessee. I forget his name.
Just a 1 linebacker set and get an extra DB on there. But when you line 2 linebackers up and you put Cole Kmet in the backfield,
he's that guy is probably less than 260 pounds. He's putting Braxton Jones on his back and ass like that. That's what I'm talking about, where I say at some point we got to get a higher quality. Braxton Jones is fine right now, I guess.
Oh, you see what happened here, though? And who said it in the chat? Leo Factor. Shout out Leo Factor. So what kind of happened is Caleb noted, look at this where you freeze framed. He's
Right.
watching Braxton come back.
Yeah,
Mhm.
he's got to.
So that's
Just-
why he didn't hit. That's why he didn't hit Rome on this rep, bro.
Had to get that ball out of there.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So he saw it. He saw it coming and looked for the outlet. And the outlet that he saw immediately was Cole Kmet with a linebacker on him and hit Cole Kmet, as opposed to taking the TD that you see Odunze run free with, right? So if he had one more second, if Braxton was able to hold water there, he might have been able to reach Rome.
Kids and Trip, quick question for you guys. Do you think that, and I believe this firmly happened in Justin Fields' mind. I think mentally he made provisions for that situation we're looking at right here on this freeze frame, knowing that Braxton Jones regularly got walked right back into him. So you make mental provisions in your mind that you have to do something else because he's going to get back here on me pretty quickly, right? Y'all
Well,
agree?
yeah, when you know that there's a weak link or one of your protectors has the not proficiency, but potential to be pushed back in your lap more often than not, that will speed up your internal clock. You know, so the timing of the play that you've practiced is sped up because you're tired of getting hit because now you got live reps coming at you. And even if Braxton holds up, that still throws off the time because you're not trusting him.
Right.
All of that.
I just wanted to point that out. You do have to make mental provisions to probably get that ball away quicker than you want to. And so there's an explanation.
It creates a mismatch, right? That's a mismatch of Kmet on an inside linebacker, especially coming out of the backfield, because that's got so much eye candy for Christian Roseboom to look at.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just get him some easy throws off play action. By the way, 7 catches for DeAndre Swift in this game too as a
How
receiver.
sad. Tight ends got to
13.
touch each other because they're at home. My
They're
goodness.
at home.
Hey,
13 personnel here is great too. 3
This
tight
is
ends
it
in the
right
game
here.
now.
This should be your identity.
Nice job by it looks like Braxton, Tevin, and I think it's Mercedes Lewis in here who played a hell of a
I
game.
think that's prior because Tevin isn't he
that
like
prior?
more light skinned than
Yeah,
that?
that is prior. That is prior. But good job by them, man. They look at those. That's some meat up there. Watch out. Watch them make this alley for this cat.
Right here, right now. We're going to line up. We're going to punch
This
you
is
right in the
12.
mouth. This is simple 12 formation. Yep, we have a nice wing over here. We're running simple zone out here, wide zone. Let's just turn and burn, boys. And we are off to the races. Doop.
Oh man.
Right there, he's got the Swift's got a choice. He can bang that thing, cut back, and run right into 56 because you can see right here. That's Matt Pryor. Matt Pryor at some point's got to get to one of these two guys. But what he wants to do is to see if, because he knows he has an extra guy right here, he's gonna have to pick up here or pick up there. But it looks like Keenan's got this guy, and he's gonna have to get up here on this linebacker, and that should make an alley right here. Let's see how it plays out.
Jackson Jones, left tackle, here is a phenomenal reach block.
Phenomenal.
Go back.
Let's
Look at
run it
all
back.
everyone's reached.
I was gonna
Look
say,
at everyone here. Watch
whole
the-
thing's blocked up.
Is this Jenkins at left guard?
So left guard, left guard, left tackle here.
Yeah, watch.
Keep an eye
So
out.
this is you're a one-on-one, got to reach this guy by yourself. Boom. Hat placement, backside hand in the chest, drive him up the field.
Tight end
Great
does a
job.
great-
Alley right
Wow.
there. As soon as he seals off number 56, we're expecting Keenan to hold that block on 37, but it kind of got away from him. And if Keenan holds this block, this is 6 going this way. He's not number 3 ain't catching. He's too far off away from the play. If I'm telling you, if Keenan holds this block, this dude's gone. Just want to put that out there.
Great
Now,
job.
And then he
is it-
combos and he gets through. They have the tight end weak.
What'd you say,
Is
Trip?
it me or did the offensive line play better after Tev got hurt and Davis came in to right guard and Pryor switched over to left guard?
It ain't just you, buddy. Like, you're not the first guy or the last guy who said that this week. That's for sure.
I
Been
can't.
said.
What you want to say is you think they ran the ball better. Is
Well,
They passed
running the
the
ball and
offensive
passing
line.
the ball. Both.
Okay, for me to jump to that conclusion, I'm gonna have to look at how it looked when Tevin was in there versus how it looked with Matt Pryor over there. And
Well,
so
it
they
looked like dirt. It looked like dog poop the last 3 games. It didn't look quite so dog poopy this week. But shout out to Mitch Osborne. Mitch Osborne is saying that is indeed a rookie in Jared Verse pushing Brax back. Make you really wish we got him. Haha. And highlights the need for a real left tackle. All of those things, Mitch. Can't argue with it for a second. And thanks for supporting the show, dog. We appreciate it as always.
good looking out, Mitch. Good looking out. All right, let's get back to it. That alley was there, man, minus Keenan Allen, man. He know he messed that block up. Watch this. Watch him go over there. He did that famous clap. Oh, damn, I messed it up. Watch this.
Watch the wing, too. So this wing, he knows they got to get to 56. So their job's to block 8 and 56. Right? The wing's job, those are their 2 guys. So how he gets there is up to him. But he does a great job of not flying out of here. So many times we see these wings, these tight ends just fly out of the screen. He does a really nice job of staying skinny, giving a hand through there, keeping body presence, and then bang, pin him in there.
Damn it, receiver. What are you doing?
You clap the hand.
Keenan,
Did you see Keenan back there?
Yeah.
Keenan Allen,
hey,
he knows
fine him.
better.
Fine him.
That's a hand clap.
That's a
Fine.
hand
Hit him.
clap. Fine. Hit him.
I mean,
So
and then
I'm
watch
asking
the
a
left guard.
question.
Yeah.
Is he the best receiver for a situation like that?
Under the circumstance, probably not. But what you gonna do? Put a guy out there that they know for sure he's out there to block, or you want to disguise your goddamn play? That's what you just gotta.
How disguised is this play? I guarantee is this a first down?
This is a very common play right here, but if everybody executes, it's a big play.
I mean from a disguised perspective. This looks like a run play. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's 12 personnel.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you just have to be on that F you stop me, and I think that's really where they are right now. Put the personnel out there that you need to secure the block and go get that block next time.
It's exactly that, kids. It's everybody has to execute because we're not trying to surprise anybody. We're not trying to trick nobody. We're just gonna hammer your ass with this wide zone right over here to our heavy side. Everybody execute. We get this play. And Keenan was the only weak play. Period.
Yep.
So this is called a ricochet block. So usually a Rico. So usually here you'll see the left guard try and skinny through this gap, but he knows with 51 being backside, he can put this guy on the center first. So he does a really nice job, and then he just bench presses Troy Reader out of the way here. Watch Troy Reader get off both feet. Oh, Troy. Oh, Troy. You gotta stay on the ground. You gotta stay on the earth in order to make plays.
They need Kirkland back, man. The league needs a Kirkland back. You can't let your mic get pushed back that bad.
No.
All right, so now we got a little something, a little tight end on the play action.
Damn it, dude.
Stand in 12 personnel
Swift.
again.
Another 12 personnel. You got Mercedes there. You got Cole there.
Right. Keeping base defense in the field.
Which is
Play
huge,
action
right?
again.
We're playing
Nice play
chess,
action.
they're playing checkers. We're running the routes, they have their base D, and this is why this
This is Spider to Snag. Now what?
It's red left switch. C right.
Holy
Sprint
crap.
right
I just
G.
messed up.
U corner, halfback flat. Nice and easy.
This is
Excuse me for people. I just messed that all the way up. Y'all still
All the
there?
way up.
We are.
Give me a minute.
All the way up. We all the way up.
Everybody hold your water.
I'll get us back to where we were.
Do the progression.
His stats
Right.
are hilarious.
So
And he's
funny.
hurt.
Right. So he's looking over there, DJ Moore. He's covered. Okay. You can do that. He's looking over here at DJ Moore, right? And stand in 12 personnel again.
Here we
Right. Keeping base defense in the field.
Which is
Play
huge,
action
right? We're
again.
playing chess, they're playing checkers. We're running the routes, they have their base D, and this is why this becomes fun again.
Max protection, right?
I want to look at that again. Was there something down
This
the
was
field here?
this was a 2 receiver route.
Yeah, there was something down the
This
field.
is a 2 receiver route, right? So you've got, I think that's or Keenan Allen and DJ Moore, and then you've got everyone dropping back in
You
here.
may have hit
But-
Keenan right there just because he has the safety flipped a little bit.
Safety's turned here. Is he
You can
missing?
do that. he's looking over here at DJ Moore, right? And then by the time he gets over here, this is he's breaking on an out route. I think if this was a corner, that if Keenan had a corner route called here, he probably throws this, but Keenan
should have probably been going like this way to create the hole and create the conflict between the safety and the corner here. It's his own concept, but it's kind of like a lazy route, kind of almost like a seam, but it should have been a really strong boom, and you create the hole right there and give the quarterback a window in between these two guys. That's the most famous play you can run in a zone set to really put the corner and the safety in conflict. You're going to force that safety to have to do something. But if he puts the velocity on the ball and he runs that route right, it's dead ass open right there. You've seen Justin hit DJ so many times on this route right here. It's not even funny, but that's what they're trying to describe in here.
It's breaking on an out.
I'm not going to judge. It's a great throw.
It's a good decision.
Yeah,
right. That's what you want to see out of your rookie quarterbacks, is not out there playing 500 and YOLO ball, but just understanding,
like
get through the progression. Yeah, Anthony Richardson. Get through the progression.
His stats are hilarious.
So
and he's
funny,
hurt.
right? So he's looking over there, DJ Moore. He's covered. Okay, let me get back through. Keenan Allen's covered. Okay, security blanket. Bang.
Oh my goodness.
Great progression.
So
Look at that pocket.
he's doing a much better job getting in and out of that play fake and getting through his progression. It seemed a little sluggish and slow the first couple of weeks when they were trying to do it. It was just taking too long for him to get from point A to point B with his progressions and on and on. And you can see it looks really clean, really defined here, man. And he's just taking the easy money here and dumping it off.
Good reads from Caleb there.
Get your 10-yard chunk or whatever here.
I can't tell you how, when you start getting the play action going, it makes life so easy up front, because everyone thinks you're running the ball, and then you just grab them and you're like, no, this is a pass, stupid. And everyone's like, oh, and we're all double teamed again. The left guard, left tackle are always the ones that are kind of going to be on an island on something like this. But at this
nice pocket here too, by the way. Notice that. Look at that clean U shape right there. It's very, very clean. Nice pocket. Everybody got their guys. Combo block here. Looks like 2 combo blocks. It was really clean. It was only a 1-on-1, and that was with these 2 over here. So it was really clean. Gave him time to go through his progressions. Real nice.
At the same time, they do a great job of creating this pocket for Caleb Williams to just sit in, get to his out route. Like we said, you never go broke taking a profit.
Hey,
No
like
wonder
that saying. That's a good one. That's good life
that's
advice.
not what
right there,
I didn't
buddy.
watch this.
Never go broke
I
taking
didn't
a
Switch
profit.
it up.
You got that from me. Shit.
All right, man. Let's go.
Go 11 personnel, right? Get Roma Dunze out there. Screen.
Ooh.
High completion
A lot
throw.
of this stuff.
High
lot of this
completion
stuff.
throw. Right? Ball
it
out of his
simple.
hand quickly. Get it into your playmaker's hands. And again, slow this pass rush down.
This is all quarterback friendly shit right here. Getting plays designed to get rid of the ball fast and kind of challenge the defensive pass rush and kind of back them off you. These are the kind of plays that you run to kind of put guys like him in conflict. You know what I mean? You want to really chase after the quarterback. Okay, we'll put you in conflict, run some action over to you and see what you have to do, man. So this is all stuff that you want to do with a young quarterback.
If you start getting hidden screens and play actions, now they think, okay, 11, they're probably going to pass it here. Oh, Braden Fisk takes the cheese hard.
I'm
Right?
stealing this play.
This is a great play. I love
13-year-old.
Stealing.
Somebody say something?
I thought somebody said, who cut the cheese?
He took the cheese.
Oh,
Yeah.
my bad.
Talking about this guy right here. He took the cheese.
You know what
love
it
this
is?
play.
It's the bubble motion behind that gets everybody to be like, what is going on? Wait. What's he doing? What's he doing? I know we're all too late. Dude, this is awesome. Look at that. Look at that blocking on the outside.
Right. Keenan Allen redeemed himself.
He sure did.
That's a redemption from the first play for Keenan Allen. He does
Still
a
have to
great
pay your
job.
fine, though. You still have to pay your fine.
100%. Ooh, spread them out. Empty.
Here we go.
This is where Caleb is at his most comfortable. So what they're doing is getting into the situations that they want to be in. I'm talking about formation-wise, making it a regularity for them to be under center and really force the game and the tone of the game from under center, doing play action and running the ball. But this is just to make Caleb feel good about the situation. Could have also been a down and distance that made them want to get in the empty. But this is where Caleb is at home, in empty and RPO sets.
Full empty.
Oh,
not
him back in.
Oh, okay. So is Caleb making the call to bring these guys back in,
No,
or is
it's
it part
the
of the
play. It's the
pre-snap
play.
motion?
So you get them out there early, see what they're lined up in, get a pre.
When Caleb is the one that's making the motion, if he's the one making the check, he's got to go up there and make sure all these guys got the check. Got a hot. If I'm changing everything that you guys are supposed to be doing, I got to make sure each and every one of you guys get it. But to their point, that's how you know that Caleb is just calling the play that designed, because he didn't have to do any of that.
Well, now let's think as he's more comfortable, once they're in that 5 wide or whatever it was, if he sees a favorable matchup, there has to be some kind of kill signal to just run this right here, snap the damn ball, and let's get that play run.
Oh, yeah, it's built in. It's 2 plays called in the huddle in the first place, a run and a pass.
There you go. So now they just check to the run.
No, this one was designed. This is the design play. They didn't
Right.
Yeah, this is design.
Snap read, bring them in, and now everyone's running back in, and now the defense is like, wait, shit, we thought it was pass, now it might be run. Ooh, Cole Kmet with the chop down.
I love when they chop those dudes.
Oh, it makes me so happy on the inside.
Dude, they used to talk.
I don't like
This
this
is
one
a
of their
simple. This
voices
is a
right
simple
now.
inside zone.
That's a little too familiar.
What'd you say, Trip?
I don't know about the tone of their voices right there when they saw that chop block.
What's wrong with the chop block, man?
No, but listen to the way they was talking about it, like, oh.
They linemen, man. They like to be able to that's what they like to do.
Split
Zone read.
Inside split zone, right? So everyone's basically blocking their inside gap. 79's got 50, and then you cut the defense right there.
Look at that.
There's the hole, right? Again, people always think inside zone should hit. Like if you were to just watch this, but hey, they're running inside zone right, you would assume that means the ball's supposed to go right. Inside zone, go back to the front, Mac. The way the inside zone is installed and the way it's taught is that the running back's first read is backside A gap to backside B gap. That's where inside zone is supposed to hit, right? So if this is inside zone right, the first place this running back is reading is basically the center's left leg, right? And so if he reads that this thing's getting caved down on this front backside A gap, that's his very first read. So watch as he goes through here. Boom.
Now, if you'll see as this play starts to develop, Roschon Johnson, let me let this play out and then we'll talk about that.
And bang,
And
right
he
there.
sees a little seal here.
There it is.
See that?
Right? And that's right
And
where
a
the
seal
center's-
here and a seal here.
There it
Mhm.
goes.
And I
There's
ran
the
up
hole.
the gut.
And then hit the acceleration button.
You notice, you see, if I'm gonna rewind this just a little bit. Roschon Johnson did not hit this hole the right way. He was in conflict. He thought either he thought that this was going to open up right here in between these two guys, or he flat out didn't see this lane, this alley open up right here. Because if he saw it like he was supposed to, he wouldn't have kind of forced that down in through here. He'd have hit this thing and been down the field for 20, 25 yards. But you can see him kind of putting his head down and not really paying attention to what was in front of him. And maybe, and I might be being picky, maybe that's kind of what's been kind of holding him back. He's not seeing maybe he's not seeing the play develop the right way and pressing the gap he's supposed to. And if I tell you this for a fact, that'll keep your ass on the bench, because the linemen are up there doing these great jobs opening up these alleys for you, and you're not hitting it. And instead, you're running up the backs of linemen like he's about to do right here, and you kind of can see that. But here we go.
Here and a seal here.
There it goes.
And I
There's
ran
the
up
hole.
the gut.
And then hit the acceleration button.
Right up the back of Braxton.
Gets a little muddy here, but it's still a
No.
chunk.
It's perfect.
Inside
Force
zone's
them
not
to
meant.
tackle you.
Yeah,
Get
make
muddy.
them hit you. Make them wrap.
What's that?
You said he got muddy with it.
Yeah.
He didn't step, in the hole. He stepped in the mud outside of the hole.
Yeah. Come on. When you look at this shit on all 22, I guarantee you Roschon's like, motherfucker, man. All I had to do was bounce that outside and I'm going for 25, 30 yards.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like you're identifying it though with him. Like he
does that often, doesn't he?
Yes, it's a double-edged. It's kind of a double-edged sword, you know. Like he seeks contact, but the other side is that for some reason he's not really looking for daylight. You know, it looks like he's looking for blue and white jerseys. He's looking for the other team's jersey to run a man over more often than he's looking for a clear open hole. And again, bit of a double-edged sword because sometimes you just need him to run a man down and get that hard fought yard. And in that respect, Roschon Johnson's an awesome running back, but as we can see here, sometimes there's holes out there that he just isn't quite aware of.
So I mean, to kind of piggyback on what Kedz is saying, Roschon Johnson is always in 4x4 mode. He never shifts down the two wheel and takes the hole and takes, the easy non-contact route.
Yeah, he's a Tonka truck. He's not a race car.
Yeah. Hey man, just putting it out there for people to see, and everybody's wondering why come Roschon isn't playing. When you see this kind of stuff in practice, and these guys are opening up lanes, it's just like, damn, I want to play this cat, but he's not seeing the hole like he should.
But now is also the of our running back room, he's the hardest runner. North and south.
Yeah. I mean, how far is that going to get you? I mean, if you want to put him in on goal line, good, but I like to see him
goal line short yardage. I mean, that's where he should eat.
I just want to see him develop his vision. He can help himself there. Some good. I tell you some good. If I was to talk to Roschon one-on-one, what I tell him is watch some Le'Veon Bell film.
Right. Well, see, that's the thing. The room is so everybody has their own individual talents. I mean, because you look at the way Roschon runs, and if Herbert ran the same way, Herbert would not survive. Whereas Herbert needs to hit that hole. Herbert is more the Lamborghini or the sports car.
Well, he's got that extra gear, right, Herbert?
Right.
Like Herbert,
he's actually able to find some daylight time to time, but he hits the gear, but he never runs away from anybody.
That's So I think the difference for me is like acceleration into the hole, right? Like Herbert's got a little bit of a boost once he sees the daylight. Is he going to necessarily? Is he going to, win a foot race?
No.
You know what I mean? Not necessarily. He's not necessarily going to take
not at all. Not at all.
Guys, if you guys don't mind, let me speak to Mitch's comment right quick. Mitch Osborne says, "Yeah, that makes sense." He's probably talking in response to what we're saying about Roschon.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think he'll learn faster playing a bit more in a live game? ? Do we not want to give him a chance to learn? It's not like Roschon ever looked terrible. Agreed, Mitch. I do think you have to let him play to a certain extent to clean up some, kind of polish up your skill set, kind of become the running back that you think you can be. I think it's a certain amount of that. Yeah, you need to touch grass to do it. So, Mitch, you're right, man. It's two ways to look at it. I guess from the coach's standpoint, if they're not seeing it in practice, what's the point in putting him out here in the game and getting these nice blocking schemes going on and he's running up the back? But I do believe that Mitch has a point. Getting him in real-time situations in game will help him polish up a whole lot of stuff. I agree with that, Mitch. So thank you for that one. Let's get back to the film a little bit.
Up. Those are body blows, right? Those are just body blow plays where you're just leaning on guys and hammering them on. Same thing. But this time,
see now what happens when he pulls it.
Oh, I'm so happy he's learning how to slide so he doesn't die.
Thank you.
Yeah.
He went back to that well.
Dude, see now this is fun
Miami
because we've seen this play, right? It's the same exact lineup
play.
almost. And all of a sudden now, instead of handing it, the quarterback's just going to take it. And it's everyone's seen this, and oh yeah, for sure he's going to hand it. Watch, look at 51. He's like, I'm not getting beat again backside.
Look at 8. He saw how hard 8 crashed down on this play. Cole Kmet's coming to get him. He saw 8 crash down, and he's looking at that. He's got to determine whether to stick this thing and leave it in Swift's stomach or go out here and try to take this easy cheese out here. He saw that once this dude got to a certain point, he committed. Now I can snatch this thing out, and I got an alley right here.
Look, he's like, I'm gonna sit right here and force you to come off, but doesn't matter because he doesn't even have the ball. The quarterback has the ball, and that's why this is so fun. You get so keyed on the running back that you fall asleep that 18 can take the ball just as easily. Oh, there he goes. Look at that. Not one person in there knows he doesn't have it. That's what I'm saying.
And look at 8 here. So 8's getting chopped down again. He got chopped down on the last play. He completely loses sight of contain. Right? He's the one that has contain here. He's crashing down. His eyes are going, oh shit, I don't want to get my knees taken out again.
The only way this play works this way is at this point in the game, they've started to make a little bit of hay on the ground. And this dude felt the need to crash a little bit more hard and kind of commit to stopping this run and forgot that we got a mobile quarterback that can boop, boop, slide right.
That's the definition of why play action works.
Exactly.
Hey, but there's a comment. Can you go back to what Mitch said about we yell at Caleb? And then kids, go ahead and read that because I got a rebuttal, or not a rebuttal, but a thought.
Go ahead, kids.
So Mitch Osborne saying we yell at Caleb to throw it before you see it open. Do we kind of want coaches to be that way too? See it before it happens?
Well, I'm thinking that being, I mean, not to make excuses, keep saying that he's young, but we don't want, these are live games. The goal is to win the game. So if Caleb has to be more conservative, I get that. But where the difference comes in is the coaches have to have a plan for any scenarios. So yes, they are seeing it before they happens. That has to be when they draw up the play. It's like, if this happens, we do this. If this happens, we do this. The counter punch to whatever the defense is going. So I don't expect the rookie quarterback to be at this stage in his career where he can see it before it happens or throw it before he sees it open. But I do expect a professional coaching staff to be able to have the foresight to plan for any and all circumstances.
So this is like when we're talking about coaching, seeing it before it happens, it should be part of that. Like, it should be part of the plan, right? So at this point, really, what Nomad was saying a moment ago is that at this point in the game, the run game's actually working. The short dump offs to Swift is working. They're a little bit worried about DeAndre Swift and what he might do next, and that's the plan. Establish the run, make sure the other team understands that you've established the run, and it has to be an FU stopping situation. Now you can get tricky, right? At this point, they're like, okay, so, hey, look, we've run it a bunch of times. We got yardage on the ground. We could do that again, but let's make you think that way. So now they know, like the coaching staff has the understanding that they're probably going to sell for the run right now because, again, as I was saying earlier in the day, that's what every single team has done to the Bears over the first 3 games. Key in on the run, oversell the run, make Caleb Williams play football, like make him play quarterback in the pocket. And this is them taking advantage of that. And that's how this thing works. Like, it might take you a couple of games to sort of figure out what other teams are going to do to you. Looks like Shane Waldron and the gang is finally kind of clued in, and they're now able to execute it, which is why I'm kind of excited about the upcoming game against the Panthers. I think, I want to see what the Panthers have in store by way of defense to stop what the Bears offense can potentially do this coming week. Should be crazy.
All right. Well said. Let's continue.
Like, he has no idea where he has no idea where Caleb Williams is because he's so focused on, he's like, oh shit, there he goes. Right? Like, he's so focused on not getting chopped down. And that's why you got to take shots at these DNs, because their eyes, all it takes is them to be like, oh, my knees, I want to pass rush. And then whoop, you circle them.
This feels like a real, listen, this is going to be a cheap shot at the Bears, but a real professionally organized offensive drive. Play calling makes sense. We're going to run this.
By the way, shout out to Cole Kmet, man, for he was sacrificing a lot during this play. He was doing a lot of crack blocking, and some people call this, I don't know, crack blocking, some wham blocking and all that kind of stuff, where he's coming across and taking the dude out to create a situation over here, doing a lot of that. And that's hard on your body, man, running into people kind of half speed or full speed like that. So shout out to Cole Kmet for sacrificing his body for the game plan.
Set this up later. We're gonna not put too much on our quarterback's plate.
I think we've skipped a lot of third downs too.
There's been a couple of like shorter plays on like third and short.
But you're winning first downs. You're not putting yourself behind the sticks.
Yep.
This one was nice. This is really nice. This is the play that everybody's talking a lot of crap about what DJ said at the presser today. They're trying to make hay out of nothing, to be honest with you. But that's a whole other conversation. Talking about this play right now where DJ got isolated back here on is this the play? Is this the touchdown? DJ got the touchdown?
Yeah.
So he's isolated on 56, who's a linebacker, and he was third in progression per him. Listen to him at the presser. So Caleb was looking over here, looked in the middle of the field, and he came back over here to DJ and hit him one-on-one with the linebacker's back turn. If that's a safety, then you probably don't throw the ball. But since it's a linebacker, you throw the ball behind his head and hope for the best. But good progression, good. He went through his reads and got all the way back to DJ, which was good. But you got him one-on-one with a linebacker. Hopefully you see that at the very beginning before the ball is snapped and to go there. But that's next level quarterbacking.
Art.
By the way, DJ Moore just kind of called out his teammates here.
Again,
dude.
Poor guy.
He's been so angry.
Dude, put a smile on DJ. It's going to take some time here.
Look at the progression. He's all the way to the left. Watch him get to the middle of the field and then boom, over to DJ. This is good for a rookie. Really good.
It's going to take
empty personnel. They send 5, put 5 one-on-one matchups. It's not the cleanest pocket in the world, but he doesn't get touched.
It's a great throw.
It's a big time throw.
It's a big time throw. They go to the one linebacker in protection. We got one-on-ones on the right side with Davis and Darnell Wright.
Look them off. Come back to the other side. Strike. Just let that ball go.
Love to see Darnell keep his head up.
Just a little bit head up, a little bit more.
But,
left tackle. Stay in your ground.
Hands. But look at the front. The depth of the pocket gets kept here. The width, right? The width gets squeezed in a little bit. But because the depth is kept, the 3 interior guys do a great job of keeping their guys up on the line of scrimmage. It allows Caleb not to panic because there's no one right in his face. He can feel the pressure circling him, right? But when you don't have someone right in your face right there, you really feel like you can just step into this throw.
Right.
That's a great throw.
That is an excellent throw. You got to give the kid some credit, man. That was a beautiful throw. Only can be thrown one way, right to the right whizzing past the left ear of the linebacker. There's only one way that ball is gonna get there and gonna get caught. It's got to whiz right past the ear of the linebacker to get to DJ, and that's exactly what happened.
Beautiful.
And again, DJ Moore on an inside linebacker, that's a mismatch.
Yeah.
That's a complete mismatch.
Let's look at a couple more plays here. Bears fans should be feeling a lot better, I feel like, after this game. Look at this.
Okay, so this is the play I was talking about earlier before we got started. There's going to be a play where the action kind of froze the linebacker and put the linebacker in conflict, the Mike linebacker. This is that play. Can't really see it that well on this angle, but as they show the other couple of angles, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about.
There he is.
That's what it looks. That's what it should look like.
Play action, ball out of your hands.
Watch number 51. That's 51 right here. When they line back up, he's going to be in the middle of the field.
No offense, but if you still think stocks, real estate, or crypto are the best passive income,
this play is run by everyone. The tight end up the seam.
Keep an eye on 51, right in the middle of the field. Mike linebacker.
Team on a play action. All you need is a linebacker to take one step.
Frozen.
I love stutter.
Frozen.
I love stutter.
Can you back up a little bit?
No, they're going to show you.
We've been running the ball really well. And all of a sudden, we're just going to do this little dangle here. We're going to pull the biggest dude on the offensive line so everybody sees it. And what's going to happen? We're all just going to get flat-footed for once.
That's where he frozen. He got him to move forward. Now he's not that much of a threat. And all you got to wait for is for Cole to get a little bit behind him, and he just kind of gives him a little lob right over the head where he can't touch it. He knew he was in trouble the minute the minute he saw Caleb go back there and drop his arm. Open up his arm. He knew he was in trouble.
Sticky second right there. See it? See that?
And 51.
You're
look at
done.
him.
You're done. We're reading you 51. If you don't get back right now, Cole Kmet has you. He has you out leveraged. Look at this right now. Just throw it to him. Yeah, boomy.
Go ahead, Kedge. You had something to say?
Yeah, these last two plays, just the arm angle that he's utilizing is a little bit different. He had to sort of loft it. Well, it's almost a hook shot that he used there, and he used it in the previous play too. There's the defense was crashing down on him, and he kind of had to loop it over. And it's just it's stuff like that you don't necessarily, like little nuanced things that you don't necessarily see or notice without all 22. You gotta love it sometimes, man.
Well, another thing to point out here is this is a particular situation where your defensive coordinator, as the coach, as a head coach, can help you get better. And talking about how to, you hear Flus talk about this. How many times you guys heard Flus say the contours of the defense? The contours of the defense, meaning that the guys talking about the back seven and what they do pre-snap, post-snap, what to recognize. And when all else fails, the quarterback, all he needs to do is really concentrate on one guy for the most part. And if he can do this early, talking about concentrating on the middle linebacker and seeing if his action can get that middle linebacker in conflict, he can make plays in and around this area all day long and keep the ball moving, keep the chains moving and all that kind of thing. It's him. I just see growth here. He's learning how to manipulate a little bit, and that's, I'm telling you, if he keeps going in this trajectory, this cat's going to be really good, and they can keep him clean and keep protecting him. This is going to be some good-looking shit later on. Just get back to that. Here we go.
Dude, take what they give you.
I think the Rams missed Ernest Jones. I really do. They traded away Ernest Jones, their linebacker from last year. I think they're really missing him right now because he was that athletic guy in the middle and might be able to jump up and tip something like that. Nothing against Troy Reader. He's just not quite the athlete.
There we go.
Cole Kmet was taken because he was that athletic guy in the middle and might be able to jump up and tip something.
The important thing to watch is Cole Kmet coming down here and selling out on the edge. Can't remember if it's the edge or this guy. I believe it's the edge right here. Cole Kmet coming down and selling out on this guy, making sure he got that guy sealed and not doing what he did in the first couple of weeks and kind of whiffing on that guy. And Cole Kmet got talked about badly after that whiff, and people talked about, this some bullshit. Cole Kmet, but he really made this play happen. And after that, DeAndre Swift saw the seal right here when Cole Kmet comes down. Once he saw that seal, it was all his natural ability. Hurdle that motherfucker and get up the lane, and off you go. Watch this.
Something like that. Nothing against Troy Reader. He's just not quite the athlete.
There we go.
Cole Kmet was taking bodies this game.
Hey,
catching passes over the middle and just cutting down bodies on the backside of these plays.
I can't imagine how
it looks better from this angle because you can see what DeAndre Swift was waiting on. He's just waiting on that seal to come and press that lane and get on up and just be athletic.
he feels today.
He's hurting. He's hurting. Watch 85. Again, simple. Now we watched it out of shotgun. Now they get back under center.
Oh,
that is... Look at, he's just like, ow. Well, we scored, but that really
somebody
hurt.
Come get me.
Someone get me off the field.
I need you to peel me off the field.
I see birds chirping.
Again, inside zone is supposed to hit where, Mackie? We're teaching you.
It's supposed to hit right off the backside A-B gap over here.
Let's see where this ball hits.
Somewhere over here.
Yep.
Or off the left thigh of the center, right?
There you go. Left foot of the center.
Okay.
Should go push it front.
This is a good place to stop it right here to show you what DeAndre Swift is looking at. He's looking at Cole, making sure Cole gets over there and seals that guy. But he's also looking at boom, making sure that guy got, boom, making sure this guy got on the next level. And do I have a lane to run in? He's pretty sure Braxton can handle this guy one-on-one. But that's what he's got to, while this play is happening in real time, believe it or not, he can see what's going on in this area right here. He knows Cole's on time and coming to get this dude. Hopefully he executes, and there's an alley. Boom, touchdown.
Side, make your cut,
Crack.
and
Boom.
there it is.
Gonna jump over that dead body quick.
Gone.
Look at Roma Dunze out here. Go back, watch 15. We got to give flowers where flowers are due.
Of course.
Roma Dunze coming in here. So he
Another great pickup down the field. Romo Dunze has turned into probably our best blocking receiver. Now, he's not perfect out there, but Romo Dunze is quickly becoming the best blocking receiver that we have on the team. He really gets the job done. Watch this dude.
Yeah, he's a good blocking receiver for sure.
Yeah, watch this.
he's got to go push crack the safety, right? And this ball hits backside. So he's got to get his ass all the way across the ball to go block number 3. Stay with him, and then he just adjusts. There's a guy right there. He's
kind of reminding me of Brandon Marshall right now, because Brandon Marshall was decent at this too. When it came to Matt Forte and getting some of those things open, a lot of that stuff was Brandon Marshall made a lot of things happen in that route, in that way.
He's the one that springs this play. I mean, if he just keeps chasing over there blindly, but that's a heady football play by a rookie of understanding.
Look at him dancing.
Yeah.
Kind of like
He knows.
He knows he sprung him loose.
So
Love
you
it.
know, it's not the
It's not doomsday. In
greatest
Chicago.
show on turf. You know, but they're making progress. It feels like with this win over the Rams.
And as long as their defense continues to keep playing,
all right, that's it with that one. That's it. Y'all want to talk about some of that? Let's go.
I liked it. You know what I mean? End of the day, Bears win, but lots of little nuances. One of the things that jumped out to me just about that last play is it's DeAndre Swift's actual speed after the jump cut. Like once he gets the opportunity to cut into space, he can make fools miss. Like he was up against a safety right there who could have crashed down, and that one jump cut and his acceleration. That's a little bit like that's starkly different than a Khalil Herbert, right? And that's really something that I wanted to sort of put there. So you kind of get to see the value of a DeAndre Swift with that single play. And I appreciate that. I need to see more of it now.
Yeah, and it's nice to see that the offensive line is playing better. I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done, but you know, it was cohesive enough that Swift and, you know, was able to pick a lane, and the blocking, you know, was solid. And he was able to actually show why he was signed for 3 years from free agency. You know, he made his catches and runs. He made his runs and runs. So it's comforting to see the offense starting to come together. And while, like I say, there's still work to be done, and there were obvious instances where better blocking would lead to bigger plays or the ability to hit open receivers down the field. So it's, you know, work in progress. You know, it's a lot easier to digest and be more objective after a victory as opposed to a loss. So it's like, yeah, we got the victory, you know, tighten this up, tighten that up, we'd be all good, you know, as opposed to being 1-3 and it's like, what the actual fuck? So, you know, the win helped out a lot.
Let me point out something that you guys, I know for sure, can remember me talking about. Some post-game stuff that we talked about. I probably talked about it in here and some extra sauce too. But kids will remember for sure that I was getting a little frustrated watching in-game stuff. And, you know, it was entirely too much wide zone going on. Wide zone. I mean, by wide zone, I mean trying to get the ball out there on the edge too many times. It was just entirely too much going on. Instead of focusing on really being a run team and really hammer and getting some of your power game going on up the middle and starting to use your backs for what they're good for. We got a couple of backs that are really good on the inside. You can trap, you can run power, you can do some pull. just some pin and pull techniques that can really open up your running game. And that was frustrating watching that, kids. Do you remember me talking about that? And what parts about that do you remember?
Again, just mainly you mentioning that you didn't understand why they were focusing on the wide zone as opposed to potentially using those guys inside the tackles, in between the tackles. I don't, that sort of brought me back in the discussion to thinking about how good Khalil Herbert is in between the tackles, because he's actually very good in between the tackles. That's really what he does well. Outside of that, there's a little bit more to be desired. Roshan Johnson, same token, not necessarily the best in between the tackles back, as we sort of talked about today. Doesn't really see the holes, but if he can run you over and create his own holes, it's a little bit of a different story. So good for one or two, but I think maybe bouncing it out to the outside might not be in the best interest of this offensive coordinator now. Maybe he'll start to focus on the inside rush. You think? I know there's a bit more of a focus on it this time around.
Well, what I can remember this game in particular, second game, we were trying to force the run at the best two players on the Houston Texans team. Talking about on their defense, the best two players they have out there are the edge rushers, right?
Mm-hmm. Both those edges. But that whole thing didn't make any sense, though, bro. You know what I mean? Like that was to be known. They know the two edge rushers were the two superstars of that defensive line. Excuse me. I believe somebody else was hurt on the interior, so they had all the ammunition and knowledge to actually take advantage of that situation, and they kind of just decidedly didn't. And that's the part that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, that's it exactly. They were weak up front, in the middle, and I mean up front. I mean the two interior guys, and they missed opportunity to take advantage of what was there. You just run your power concepts, and you live with it because you don't want to run out there towards the best athletes they have on the defense, which was their edge rushers, and they did it time after time after time, and I got frustrated watching it. But here's a conversation, and shout out to 670 to score. Trip, you got a piece to say on that? You can.
No, but
all right. Shout out to 670 to score, man. Mark Sanchez was on there. I don't pay a lot of attention to what Mark Sanchez said, but I'll be damned if he didn't hit dimes in this conversation. It's going to kind of put together everything that we've been talking about and everything that I've been saying and kids have been saying and the people on the network have been saying up until this week. Exactly what we need to do and what it looks like and what you have to do. He's going to put it all together for you. Watch this.
He seems like an overstatement. Nothing to be concerned about.
No, I think it's just one opportunity that he showed that he's starting to figure it out. And this is just the beginning of that kind of stuff, right? Even though, here's the thing, all these games are almost like an entire lifetime in themselves, and then they get broken into like a quarter or a third of the season and then the entire season. And so you got to analyze them individually, in my opinion.
Notice how he said these games, you have to break them up into a quarter and a third, which is how I tried to break it down for you guys, how we have to look at what they have going on with a new coordinator, a new quarterback, trying to install this shit with all these new pieces. Your first 4 games, you're looking at trying to find out what you got and who you can do what with. That's what you're doing, and that's kind of what he's describing here.
And collectively. And you want to see positive steps as you go. You want to eliminate some of the mistakes that you've been making early on and get those out while continuing to grow is the ideal, growth spurt and growth pattern that you want to show. Well, I thought they did a great job of understanding their formula to win this past week, against the Rams. It wasn't going to be the same game plan as Houston and Indy, where they're chucking the ball around the yard, and he ends up with, the Indy game, 360 plus yards and 50 attempts.
That was absolutely absurd, but I understand why they did it. I think that's the most important thing for everybody to get is why would you have your quarterback chuck it 56 times? They're trying to find his rhythm for the most part, trying to figure out what he's doing well and where he's comfortable. And when you're trying to do that with a rookie quarterback, you end up throwing it 56 fucking times, you do. And so I think, and I'm not trying to excuse Shane Waldron, but I think you'll get into that. Just trying to figure out what works for him while you're going through your call sheet, trying to get these plays off and see what looks good and what doesn't.
You think she can see me?
Leave.
Hey, how you doing, girl?
It doesn't look like their formula to win. It had to be that game because they were chasing points, whatever. They'll get into more situations like that down the road, but in a game where you're more or less in control or it's in the balance and it's a one-score game, Caleb operated efficiently. And that should be for him a blueprint on how to win a game like that. A back and forth, one-score game, potentially low-scoring game. Defense is going to get involved. Your punter is going to help you out. Cairo Santos is going to help you out. So let's handle this one the right way. It might only be 23 attempts, and that's okay. So I think he jumped over that hurdle. And then this next week, okay, what's the new formula to win? They're all similar. They all involve the same principles of taking care of the football, running the ball well, special teams, defense, everything. But how does this game start to take shape? And what is our plan?
The key for Caleb Williams right now, based on what we saw this week, is making sure he is not turning over the ball, giving his team every opportunity to get it. You know what we have on defense. You know what we have on special teams. You know that this guy can punt and pin the ball and will give the defense advantageous opportunities right here. Just don't throw it away and play within the structure of what they're trying to get you to play in. Don't turn the damn ball over. Just don't go broke making a profit, right, Trip? That's all you got to do. And I'm just glad to see he's finally getting a little bit more comfortable under center so he can call more of that. Shane Waldron can call more of that stuff and make this game easier and simplify it for him. Worked like a motherfucker for Houston, trying to bring C.J. Stroud along. It'll work the same for Caleb if he's picked.
Somebody on our panel last week over at Sports Chicago Style on the post-game wrap-up was impressed that the offense has now incorporated the wristband for Caleb, and it's broken down by color and number because he looks like once he gets a positive play, he's ready to get to the line and get next play going. But it seems like the offense brain trust would be like, well, what do we want to do now? Whereas he wants the play now. And so now they can just say, red 6, and he go, so he has it. So I think that's a nice improvement.
It's one of the strengths of Caleb Williams. He plays better that way with a sped up tempo. He wants the game in his hands, and he wants the control of the offense in his hands. That's really him just like, I don't need you talking in my ear. Let me run tempo. I can see what I see, and I can make some plays off of that. That's him trusting what he sees and trusting his arm. That can also, depending on how he's developing in these next several weeks here, once he starts doing more of that, hopefully his turnover ratio will stay very, very, very low when he's in tempo. Or it's going to cause the coaches to say, you know what? I don't like tempo, man. You're turning the ball over a little too much. You're getting a little gun happy, you know what I mean? So, because when he's in tempo, he's going to definitely be in RPO more times than not. And so there's a double-edged sword there. I like Caleb in tempo. He seems to make really good decisions. In college, he didn't throw the ball away that much. And so that's that part I do like about it. But so this is the NFL. So long as he's not turning that ball over, they won't have any problem letting him go tempo. But the minute he starts turning that damn ball over a little bit too much, it's going to be a problem. So just have to put that out there.
Right. And I think they nailed last week. They really did a good job.
Mark, we just heard Caleb talk. It's his Wednesday appearance with the media, and he was discussing that process, just being able to eliminate the mistakes early. lower the turnover amount. And we just had a discussion talking about how there's a balance between young quarterbacks being afraid to throw an interception and that taking away a lot of what they do well.
No doubt.
Yeah,
No doubt.
this is why we wanted to ask you. There's a lot of what we talked
Yeah.
about today that I think applies to exactly what you've been through as a quarterback in the league. And then also just the balance of being able to still take the shot.
By the way, not only is Layla Rahimi really cute,
Mm-hmm. Yes,
he
he
knows
is. Say
what-
it again. Say it again. Say it again.
Layla,
Yeah.
hey, we ain't gonna go crazy now, but she's a pretty woman.
Yes,
And
she is.
she's very attractive. But not
Yes,
only
she is.
that, she is so good at particulars when it comes to a game. You know, there's a lot of guys out here that don't really respect females in their commentary because they can't play the game of football like we do. And they tend not to respect what they have to say. And I think that's a flaw. I think
you're talking about the meatheads, though, Nomad. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got no damn sense. And part of her attractiveness is her intelligence about the game. She's not coming at it from some judgy, mannerism. She's coming from a logical perspective. 2 + 2 = 4, you dumb meatheads. And a lot of them aren't that, let's say, mentally stable enough to have a intelligent voice who happens to be female talking about sports to them. So they're going to find some way to take a little shot at her, because their masculinity has been hurt.
You are not off, man. I think her intellect is very high when it comes to observation of this game. And when it comes down to it is how high is your intellect? How well can you receive knowledge and break it down when it comes out of your mouth? And I have nothing but respect for this lady. I mean, she is really good. She points out shit that these guys on this panel don't even notice.
Right.
On a regular basis.
That's part of, why she's a professional at what she does. And that's how you got to respect it.
Shout out to Layla Rahimi, man. I think she's awesome at this shit.
Shots, they want to have that risk and know your skill set. Speak to how difficult it is, because I know you can, and then also what you're seeing out of him in the process.
Well, listen, it was difficult for me because, I thought I was a pretty good player. Okay. I thought my arm can make up for a lot of things, and I'm competitive as all get out. I don't care if we're flipping a coin, playing thumb war, or, playing a football game. I want to win. That's just kind of the way I'm built and the way I'm wired. It's even harder exponentially, I'm sure, for Caleb, because he's so much more talented than I was, right? This guy's got talent dripping out of his ears. He doesn't even know what to do with it. He doesn't even realize how talented he is yet. Because once he gets this game management stuff figured out, oh, mama, look out, right? So,
Trip, kids, you guys can remember me saying that's part of the thing. What Mark Sanchez just got through saying is part of what scared me about Caleb Williams. He's so confident in his arm talent, and in the first couple of weeks, you can see how much confidence he had, and he was throwing that ball at times when he shouldn't have been letting that ball go. He should have been dirting that shit or taking the sack, taking the loss, right?
That's Caleb Williams.
It's cocky. He's cocky. He's really cocky in his arm talent. And sometimes on this level, when you don't have the game speed down pat and you don't have the timing down pat and you're just throwing the ball, trusting, believing that you're Superman with your arm, that shit can get you in trouble. That's the part about Caleb Williams that scared me the most. He is really, really confident about his arm talent and is going to get challenged on the next level. But listen to him describe how he needs to be thinking.
He has to fight that all the time because his arm is good enough. If his feet get sloppy, his arm can fix it. Now, if that becomes a pattern and you start drifting in the pocket and boom, now you start getting hit. Well, what the heck? I got to get back to my fundamentals. You know what I mean? So he's developing that stuff. He's stretching and flexing and working out new muscles. And a lot of those muscles that you're working out in the NFL are just saying uncle, are just quitting on a play when the defense wins. And they're going to win. You have to understand these defensive coordinators, they're sick, dude. They're twisted in the head. All they want to do
what he's about to talk about is explain my defensive coordinator when I was in college. How many times, kids and trips, have you heard me say that I was over at the facility like all hours of the night working with my defensive coordinator and my position coach, that they're in there like maniacs and they never go home, and they're just all kinds of crazy shit's going on over in the building. They're drinking. It's shit on here that I can't even say, just in case one of these days people find out who I am. I can't say too much, but it's wild over there sometimes at night. And those motherfuckers are maniacs because that's all they do is think about how to attack the offense. And this is real shit he's talking about.
Is stay up all night for 6 nights a week, don't see the daylight until they go out for practice. They don't see their family. All they're doing is dialing up blitzes and pressures and ways to ruin your Sunday in front of your family and embarrass your ass. That's all they're trying to do. So when you understand that, then, okay, how do we come up with a plan to handle this? How do we come up with a plan for, hey man, this guy dialed up a good pressure there. I got to get rid of the ball. I got to fall down. I got to throw a ball in the stands and give somebody a souvenir.
He is strictly talking about how the defense can be unique and show you things that you didn't see on film and trick you. Put you in the trick bag, and what do you do in response to that? Excuse me. Do you try to force a muscle throw into a spot where you shouldn't throw the ball? Or do you learn to take that loss and live to the next play? And I think that's the biggest question, Caleb. And I think they're doing a good job of corralling him and keeping him manageable so he doesn't do so much of that, because that's the biggest problem he'll have during this season is when they trick him, when they put him in the trick bag, do I try to force something to happen or do I live to the next play?
Yeah, I think there was, I don't know if it was Adam Lil Pimpin' I mean or Mark Dirty Sanchez that was talking about it during the game. But they mentioned how Caleb had been playing within himself, so to speak. You know, he hadn't been trying to make a superhuman play, you know, to go with that metaphor. You know, he's just been taking what the defense has given him. And they were just saying
Doing
that's
what again, Trip? Doing what again, Trip? Doing what?
Taking what the defense has gave him.
Getting them profit.
Right, you know, just keep moving the sticks. And that they were impressed, you know, saying that, you know, he's not big game hunting. He's not, you know, panicking back there in the pocket. He's just moving the sticks calmly. And, you know, it was nice communication on the sidelines when I guess he and DJ weren't on the same page and went over there and talked it out. And so, you know, that's just the maturity aspect coming into it as well.
Good shit, man. It's real, man. He's got to fight that urge to not want to make that hero play. I think that's what we're saying in a nutshell, right?
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
Just so Cairo Santos can get us 3 points and we stay in this ball game. Those are the things he's trying to work out. And then from a coaching staff standpoint, like you don't want to take it all away from him and put him in this little phone booth where he can only turn around and hand the ball off and you get to throw it on third downs when we have to. You know what I mean? Because that feels like you're grounded. You know what I mean? No screen time this week. You're in trouble. You know? That kind of stuff is like, it's a little remedial. It's definitely embarrassing. And the team kind of feels it like, oh, he can't handle it yet. You know, he needs the training wheels. But if you do it in a more organic way, like the way they did last week, and when he sees the other guys handling some of the hard stuff for him and realizes he can be the distributor.
He's talking about dumping it down, getting rid of the ball, and not making the shit difficult on yourself. Don't try to take the big shot all the time. Wait till that shot comes. Take the easy cheese, get rid of the ball, let your playmakers play ball. That's kind of what he's describing here.
Distributor, and just dump it down to Roshan Johnson and dump it down to DeAndre Swift when the backers are in their deep zone drops. Oh my God, it's like a freeing feeling. when I got the chance to dump it down to LaDainian Tomlinson and he scampers for 25 yards on the first play of a 2-minute drive. I mean, are you kidding me? You don't have to throw it 25 yards to get 25 yards. So he's learning that. And it's really fun to watch because he is one.
Caleb comes from an environment in USC, Kedz and Trips, where he had to make all of those plays. It wasn't the situation that he has now. It was I won't say he didn't have weapons on the offense. I just think because of the structure that he was in USC, he felt compelled, and he was given basically given carte blanche to make plays. Just trust yourself. If you believe you can make the throw, make the throw. Different game in the NFL, different speed, different contours of the defense. You can't take that mindset into the game. You have to literally take what the defense provides and try not to force it because you don't have time to think about it like you have in college.
Mm-hmm.
Period. Go ahead, guys.
Kids?
Anybody? I thought somebody wanted to talk.
No, well, the only thing I was just thinking about, not about what you were saying, but I'm liking the Beastie Boys shirt. I wouldn't rock the yellow. That's not my flavor, but shout out to the Beastie Boys.
I like Dan Bernstein just because of that right there, man.
I didn't even catch that with Dan Bernstein. Okay.
I like Dan just because of this right here. I don't give a damn what nobody
Let
said.
the beat drop.
Dan Bernstein, you my guy.
That's one for Dan Bernstein.
Fuck everybody and what they talking about, Dan. I like
you. Special player. And once he gets it, I'm telling you, look out.
Explore all you can do with QuickBooks. Get 50% off for 3 months. Additional.
First of all, your comments about defensive coordinators and the way that I'm curious, how much does that have to do with how much time you spent with Rex Ryan?
Well, and all these defensive coordinators.
I was going to say Greg Williams is the guy I was
Rex
picturing.
Ryan.
That was actually a really good question.
I wouldn't spend too much time with that motherfucker. He like feet.
Hey, may I touch them?
What you say, Drew?
May I touch them? They're beautiful.
Hell no, reach for my feet. I'm going to kick your ass.
Out the gate, my rookie year in 2009. Okay? We went down to New Orleans. I hadn't taken an ass whooping like that since my brothers used to beat me up as a kid. Like, it was rough. I mean, my head was spinning. And I played terrible. They blitzed us, over half the snaps. And we were just getting hit from all angles. I mean, it was a total assault, it was just rough. So that one really woke me up to, whoa, this is a different league. These guys are good. They're going to guess right. Don't give them a cheap one when they guess right. When they guess right, let them have their win on that play, lose the battle to win the war kind of thing. And you concede what you have to. And
did he just not describe the first few weeks of Caleb Williams? Just getting his ass kicked and trying to make something happen when, you don't have time to make it happen because these defenses are designed to make you look bad. And being a rookie quarterback, they're going to come clean after your ass from the first whistle and keep doing that shit to you. And it just went to another level when we played Houston. And so he's describing what he went through as a rookie, but damn if it don't mirror exactly what Caleb Williams just got through dealing with.
And so it becomes this game within the game, and it's all these mental gymnastics that you're not necessarily used to because at USC, sure, we had some tight ball games, but I didn't have to win a game in the fourth quarter necessarily. We had defenses that took the ball away, gave us short fields. I was out at halftime in a bunch of games, So until you start realizing that and going through that, it's really hard to operate when you've never done it. And so then you get the experience, you watch the tape, and hopefully you grow from it. But, these defensive guys, man, they're good.
And one thing that doesn't help the Bears has been this spate of pre-snap penalties. And I'm not sure what it says about the practice habits. I'm not sure what it says about ongoing issues.
The pre-snap penalties, to be clear, I can't really blame that shit 100% on the offensive line. I think part of it is Caleb Williams and them getting used to him and how his cadence works. And I think that's just a matter of straight up, just got to do it enough times for people to be comfortable with what it sounds like, what it feels like, just the whole rhythm of it all and how he goes through his motions. I think to me, it's a whole bunch of getting used to it, the phase that we're in right now. I can't blame it all on the offensive line. Part of it is Caleb.
Who's with Caleb Williams learning to call an NFL cadence the right way, but it's the last thing that he needs. The last thing the offense needs is to just keep stepping on rakes out there. How do they get better at timing before the snap?
A lot of it's just time on task. A lot of it's discipline. A lot of it's self-control, impulse control, and really being locked in. And to lock into a game plan, to lock into your set of objectives, it's got to be dialed. It's got to be flushed out. It's got to be.
Leela just wrote a note and said, "These motherfuckers at the Nomad Network are the shit."
Once again, rehearse so many times that like the military, right? Like there's always going to be something you don't expect, but you're pretty much trained for everything, right? You just go into operational mode and there's no emotion and you just go. And that's kind of what you're trying to get to as an offense. But remember, these guys have so much time. Okay, I'll give you a good example. They have so much time on task on wide zone. Okay, outside zone.
Listen very carefully, guys.
That's a Shane Waldron special. That's kind of where he, got his start with Sean McVay and all these guys and this West Coast tree and derivative of the West Coast offense, whatever. Well, the other day, we saw very little outside zone, and they're running downhill. They're running duo, which is double teams in front. They're running power behind Pryor until Jenkins got hurt, and then they had to move Pryor over. But they are completely changing in this past game. And I think about all the reps that they have, the hundreds and hundreds of reps you have at outside zone, and now we're going to switch it up and run inside zone and downhill gap trap, man schemes.
Hello. Do you remember a network and some podcasters that have been saying you running the ball, trying to force the ball on the perimeter a little too much, take advantage of the free cheese on the inside, get it blocked up right, run some power scheme. Hey, trap it up, run the ball on the inside, take advantage of what's there in front of you. They finally figured something out there, and I think they're going to go right back to that shit against Carolina.
So those kind of things have to happen. They're like growing pains, for a young boy or girl going through playing athletics. You know what I mean? Like jumper's knee, like those things happen, and you got to work through them. And so the pre-snap stuff, I mean, it's just a decision. It's an attitude. It's your identity of just, hey, we don't do that. We don't beat ourselves. The good teams let the other teams beat them. They do not beat themselves. You start beating yourself, it's impossible to go anywhere. You take, one step forward, two steps back, and you're looking around like, oh, well, Caleb sucks, man. Well, 3rd and 15 sucks. Okay? It's not.
Say that one more time. 3rd and 15 sucks. Putting yourself behind the sticks sucks. Putting that quarterback in horrible positions, period.
Necessarily the quarterback. So it's hard. It's hard when you hurt yourself like that.
Yeah, GoDaddy Arrow is so easy. AI built me a website in
Mac Brown always says you can't let one loss beat you twice, and I feel like that speaks to that.
100%.
Right, and we were talking earlier about the comparison of the success of CJ Stroud last year and the discussion being, oh, well, they're catering a simpler offense to him in Houston, or what we're seeing right now with the recent success of Jaden Daniels in Washington. And then the very clear NFL concepts that Caleb Williams is going through. And I made the argument, I don't care what guys are doing right now as long as it gets them the wins. But I want to hear your opinion on this, because there is the long-term discussion, too, of how sustainable is it to simplify your offense. But I argued that, in Houston, they make that look pretty good, given what they did last year and what they're working on this year.
Of course. And I think they've all.
Let's take a break for a second, guys. in that game, did you start seeing like I don't know how much people paid that much attention to let me close my window as a train. Are you starting to see remnants of what they were doing with CJ Stroud in Houston, playing that play action and just finding him opportunities to get easy throws? Are you starting to see remnants of that this week? I definitely did. Did you guys start to notice that?
Yeah. Yeah, it's starting to come together as far as that is concerned. We're starting to find check down opportunities to the tight ends and to the running backs. So we're definitely starting to see a little bit of more comfortability there. But not a but. My real thoughts about it was just that they needed to establish that run, and I'm glad that they're also noticing that that inside run, that inside rush, inside zone started to become a bit more prevalent this week.
Yeah, it seems like they're getting, just used to each other, used to what the play call is, and then used to running it against live competition. So, baby steps, they're forward. So, just keep it moving.
All right, let's keep going. He's gonna say some more nuggets in here that's really good.
Agreed on submitting to an identity and a process that was simplified during the week, and the result's going to take care of itself. The good teams can major in that. They can hyper focus on what we're trying to do, who we are. We're playing a bunch of nameless, faceless opponents. Let's just do what we do. Okay? And that's one mentality. And that's a lot of what I think D'Amico Ryans preached and some of the coaches down there subscribe to. And that's okay. However, your offense has to evolve over time. Think of an offense as not just like this dead playbook. It is a living, breathing animal.
Let's pause right there real quick. I got something I need to share with you guys. I'm talking to the Maniacs right here, right now, too. And this is a fun fact that I don't know that you guys knew. Sean McVay started talking about the coordinator and Coach T. I see you just popped in there. What's the offensive coordinator in Houston? My bad. It's Bobby Slowick. He started Bobby Slowick off as a defensive quality coordinator, quality coach. Okay, what does that mean? How do you go from a defensive quality coach all the way to an offensive coordinator? What does that mean? I'm gonna break this down real easy. So from that side of the ball, provides you another with a unique perspective on how to scheme and how to operate. Once you do get on the offensive side of the ball, you get to see the game from that perspective, and it gives you another view of how to rhythmically call a game based on what you see on the other side of the ball. You kind of have an idea of what they're trying to do to you. You've seen all the looks, you've seen all the formations, you've seen all the post-snap movements and all that kind of shit that goes on the other side of the ball. And what would that do to you when you become an offensive coordinator and you start calling plays over here? You're going to have a unique point of view on what to do with that damn ball and rhythmically how to scheme and call the rhythm of the game plan. And so what that's going to do is it really gives him a real distinct advantage. What am I saying that for? It's because we're sitting here with Coach Flus. And we're sitting here with him. I don't know how much I like him being in that room when he really probably shouldn't be. Hopefully Shane Waldron is getting those concepts from Flus. And he can bring them to the room with Caleb. Because sometimes sitting in the room with the head coach all the time probably isn't the most comfortable feeling.
Well, now let me ask you this, Nomad. I don't know exactly how it's done because I didn't actually watch Hard Knocks, and I don't know if they really gotten that in depth with it. But my understanding of a defensive coach being in the offensive room is to say, all right, listen to what the play concept is and how it's supposed to be run, and say, from my defensive perspective, I can stop it there, and there. I would attack this, that, and that. Is that what Flus is actually doing in the offensive meetings, you think?
Run that by me one more time.
The offense and Waldron are saying these are our plays. You know, these are the concepts we're trying to develop with these routes. The quarterback will read left to right, right to left, whatever the case may be. My understanding is that having a defensive-minded coach in that room listening to that in the name of Flus would be saying, all right, as a defense, I can see a weakness here, here, here in those concepts, because as a defensive coordinator, I'm going to attack this, this, and this. Do you think that's what's actually happening in the room, or is Flus doing something else?
No, I think
counterintelligence, right?
Right.
Yeah. Say it. Go ahead and say that shit, kid, because that's exactly it.
I'm just saying it's counterintelligence, right? You have to play to win chess. You have to understand both sides of the chessboard. You have to understand how to defend as well as how to attack. You can't just do one, or else you're going to wind up getting sacked a lot and then having a lot of interceptions. Like that's basically the other way around. So understanding how your opponent is going to defend you is all the more, it's of the utmost importance to scheme. Put it that way.
But is that what he's doing? That's my question. Is that what we think he's actually doing?
I think
the realest question, Triple R. I don't think we can really answer that one though.
I think where it gets twisted though, Kedz and Trips, is maybe Flus isn't the right person to relay that message. I think Caleb is getting comfortable with this offensive coordinator, his quarterbacks coach, and all those guys is in that room. Here comes the head coach in here, and he has to understand the weight that he brings into a room. And it could make it a little bit heavy-handed. I think he should point out those things to Shane Waldron. And Shane Waldron brings that back into the quarterback room to me, or the offensive room. Flus, stay out of there. Get the message to Shane Waldron. Let Shane Waldron bring the message back to the group. To me, that's.
But what other purpose would he be if he's not doing what I'm proposing that he's been doing from a defensive mind standpoint? Why is he there? What is he doing in there? What is his purpose? Just to see what they're doing, or what else could it be?
So, to start things out, this guy's the head coach of the team. And I know as much as you kind of want him to mind his defensive business, I know that's not what you said, but that's kind of a good way to sum it up. Same token, I'll give you your flowers here because I don't know. There's no evidence stating that Matt Eberflus is any good at any of this. Sort of looking at the offense and determining, here's how I would defend it, utilize that, and work your scheme sort of around that. Again, no evidence proving that he's any good at that. But at the same time, he's the CEO of the team. He kind of needs to be that voice and be in there and have an understanding of it for multiple levels of reasons. First reason here is really so that he can actually get better at it and gain a better understanding of it and grow as a coach. So that's reason number one. This guy just can't just work on one side of the ball and throw his hands up when the other side, when stuff fails on the other side. He has to learn more on the offensive side to be in some, to have some sort of leverage there. He just has to. Again, yet to be proven as to whether he has that kind of stroke today. But I would definitely leave him there to have those conversations as well as build the rapport with the young quarterback that has to answer to him as a head coach from time to time. Like you have to build that rapport. That rapport should grow and continue over the years too.
Kids, because Coach T just gave you respect, man. That counter intel is exactly what it is, man. It was dot-ass on point with what I'm about to say right here. So, okay, let's play roles here. I'm the defensive coordinator. You're the offensive coordinator. I've been killing you all week long in practice with the scout team, giving you a certain kind of look. This team is going to going to provide to you this week. This team is going to do this to you at some point this week. Not only are they going to do it to you, if you don't figure out a way to counter it, they're going to do the shit out of it to you, right? And so what you should ask me as an offensive coordinator, when I walk in the room, okay, you've been killing me with this all week. If there was a weakness in what you're calling here, where is it? That's counterintelligence 101. So that's how the dialogue should work in those rooms when they do get together. It should be in that order. The offensive coordinator asking the defensive coordinator, where's the weakness in this call? You know, you blitzed the shit out of me with the zone, with the zone blitz scheme, right? And you're mugging me with two linebackers, and they're flaring out both in opposite directions. They're not rushing. Instead of rushing me, they're flaring out in two directions and making my quarterback a little bit confused. Where's the weakness here? You know, that's the kind of questions that should be asked in that room. You know, the dialogue between them should go something like that, in my opinion. You know, if you want to talk about the dynamics, because the defense can sit and find 7 ways from Sunday to really fuck over the offense all week long if he wanted to. Figuring out what this defense is doing to you and what are the keys to finding a hole in what they're doing is the optimal thing to do, right? And so, to me, that's how it should be working. But I'll let you guys talk about it. I got to go take a quick water break while y'all talk about that.
Well, like I said, go ahead, Trip.
No, I was just gonna say, you know, that's part of the question about Flus and his leadership as CEO. You know, I get he should be in that room, but what is his role in that room? What the fuck is he doing in there? You know, is he being productive? Is he being counterproductive? Or is he just being a fly on the wall? You know, what is his addition? What is he providing as far as a resource for being in there, as opposed to just monitoring what they're doing?
Yeah, like he's going to provide some level of value as a resource, as a defensive resource, for exactly the reasons that Nomad was saying. From both a defensive coordination perspective as well as an offensive coordination perspective, those guys should be able to sort of bounce ideas off of each other and sort of scheme around them. Here's what I think this team is going to do. Like I say that as far as the room is concerned and the conversation is concerned. They can also take it one step further. Hey, let's go outside. You know what I mean? Let's and go and test out how you beat this particular defense that we're gonna see, right? Like those things are, I would expect, should happen. But more importantly, I kind of appreciate the idea of him being in that room with the offense, even if he's just a fly on the wall, drinking it all in, learning. You know, hopefully that's not the only capacity. Hopefully he's an actual participant in helping those guys figure things out across the board, man. But that's sort of where I am with it.
Yeah, do you know what, man? I think I can only find one flaw in everything you just said, and it has nothing to do with a strike against what you said. It's just the idea of the head coach needs to know that when I walk in the room, I carry a certain weight as the head coach, and I can flip the dynamics of everything going on in this room just because I'm the head coach. And that's why I said that maybe.
Whoa! Slow down. Why would he?
Slow me down. Tell me why.
Yeah. Why would he? So again, defensive head coach sitting in the offensive room watching the offense scheming. Why? Under what pretense would he just stop everybody and, like, you know, stop everybody, stop? We're gonna do this my way. Like he knows what's.
Nobody said it happens like that. I'm talking about when he walks in the room, he changes the dynamic of the room just for the simple fact that he's the head coach.
But that's important. Like, and why I say it's important is just from a rapport building. That's not the only way that changes is if he gets fired. And if he gets fired, you may have to build this rapport with somebody else. But he's there. and they kind of have to build that rapport with the guy who runs the show. He's supposed to be that CEO. He's supposed to be running the show technically on both sides of the ball and managing the actual, the ongoings on the field. Like that's really his job.
Listen, listen to Coach right here, right? And I got you. Go ahead. I'm about to read it. Coach T says, "Can I make an observation? ? This coaching staff is not at the point in their relationship of brutal honesty, and the players aren't a brotherhood yet. Therefore, this football team is not a team yet."
Well, I get exactly what he's saying, but I would counter with that the brotherhood of the players led by, Big Dog, old school Mercedes Lewis, and the team captains that met with their offensive coordinator to say, hey, this is the way we need you to coach us, or, you don't have to walk on the eggshells. And as a professional NFL staff, the coaching staff, now granted, they haven't been here together long, but it's like these are professional dudes that have been in the league for a minute. There should be no point of where they're like, well, I don't want to criticize him because of this, that, and the other. It's like, hey, asshole, this is what I need to see from you. But it's just, delivery and how it's accepted and how to communicate with each other that they're figuring out. But those messages need to be out there, fuck your feelings.
There's a little bit more to it too, Trip, man, because another way of saying what Coach T just said is we're a bunch of assorted pieces that are trying to find some trust, and there's a level of CYA going on as well too. Cover your ass and making sure because
I don't think we're at cover your ass level yet. We'll get there though.
Cover your ass right from the gate.
You think so? I'm not so sure.
In every building, absolutely. You got to always have a level of that if you want to survive in this business. Coach T will tell you that straight up. If you don't have a level of cover your ass to you, and it takes time for you to get to the point where trust develops and the friendships start to come in, and now you're actually working together instead of worrying about the CYA first. The first thing you walk in that building is, who are these motherfuckers? I got a few people here that I didn't even hire. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of shit going on. The dynamics of it is trippy, but go ahead, Trips. I'll cut you off, man.
No, well, it's just the politics of the whole situation. Waldron is just come in. He just got hired. Flus has been here. So if anybody's ass is on the hot seat, it's him. And, so there could be that, that what was the linebacker from the Colts, that gave that indictment of Flus, saying he didn't want him to have all the information, or he didn't want him to be as well prepared because it seemed like Flus wanted to keep something up his sleeve. And, part of him being Flus, that is being in the offensive room, is how much is he influencing Waldron to be like, yo, I see you got these deep players here. Let's play a little more vanilla. Let's play a little more close to the vest. Putting his conservative influence onto the offense that may not be there naturally. How much is Flus, keeping his finger in everybody else's pie to cover his ass, because he just seems like that kind of guy that's like,
I think it's a lot of that going on, Trip.
So since we're at we're in the CYA conversation. So yes. So if I'm Matt Eberflus in the year 2024, everything is CYA. Everything. The quarterback development is CYA. The conversations, why I would be sitting in the offensive side of the field, like the offense rooms. That's all CYA. Basically, that is his modus operandi this year. Somewhere right next to winning more games than I did last year. Cover my ass, make sure we win more, might not get fired. That being said, he still has to continue to build those reports and get an understanding of what's happening. As far as the comment about the good old leadership team meeting, I have a feeling it probably had more to do with Chris Morgan than anybody has really talked about or said. and the reason that I'm bringing this to light right now is just because Shane Waldron's a new guy in the building. Chris Morgan's been there for the last little while. Things aren't necessarily working by way of Chris Morgan, or at least they weren't during the first 3 weeks. Suddenly these guys have a conversation with this guy to step up and hold people accountable. I have a strange feeling it would be a little bit weird or awkward to have to hold accountable the guy who actually has tenure over you, as opposed to anybody else on the team, right? Like you got to manage your players, you got to manage the people that you brought in and you hired, but you didn't hire this guy. Kind of been here before. He's probably older than you,
Hey, man.
You know what I mean?
Hey, listen, I got it, kids. I apologize, my brother, but Coach just spoke to what exactly I was saying to you during while we were watching that game live. This didn't look like a Flus called defense, did it? Did it?
I thought it did. I
No,
mean,
no.
they were, because look at the play calling. When I say the play calling, it's the same basic, 4-man rush, zone behind them. Let the players.
No, they blitzed more than.
Well, they blitzed more, but it wasn't
in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, it was effective, obviously, but I mean, if he's not calling plays when he's before the play, reading a play call sheet and talking into a microphone, what's he doing if he's not calling the play?
So there's that. So I saw, that's what I was going to say too, Triple R. So I saw a bunch of that. Right. So if you get the opportunity to go back to the game and take a look at the sideline as far as what Flus is doing, and Coach T got, bro, like one of these, you got to jump on our Sunday show and watch with us. You got to come watch with us on a Sunday one of these days.
I call that during the game, Coach. I said this ain't no Flus called defense. This ain't like Flus.
You said before the game that you don't think Flus is going to call plays this game, or that. Sorry, my bad. What you said was that you thought maybe he was calling the offensive plays, is what you said. And I was like, nah, I don't think so. I think Flus is calling.
He had a hand in it.
So I don't see that happening right now. I didn't see any evidence of it. I saw Shane Waldron again covering up and speaking on the mic. I saw him doing it. I also saw Flus doing it too. I didn't see any evidence of Eric Washington doing it.
Yeah, none.
You know what I mean? No evidence of it. Not to say that it didn't happen, because again, this defense looked much more Eric Washington-y this week than it did Flusy. At least after the first quarter, anyhow.
It looked exactly like the film I watched on Eric Washington when he was in Buffalo calling those defenses over there. That's exactly what it looked like. It looked like he was bringing pressure on early downs at times, and he was dropping guys in coverage at times. One of the 4-down linemen picking up and dropping guys in coverage, mug blitzing, doing that shit on early downs. And in the first half, that is not Flus football. Flus will try to attack you constantly and play that zone concept and come after you with 4, and even if it hurts him. That did not look like Flus's call game. I would say this, at the least, Flus was highly influenced in his play call sheet this week by Eric Washington. I would say that at the very least.
Well, a lot of that could be, Flus is getting used to Alan Williams, his longtime homie, not being there, because we know Alan Williams went out last year by being in his office, milking some of his man tadpoles and spearing them on the water cooler in the public domain. So Washington could be the same, learning to trust each other and have his influence as defensive coordinator in more of the game planning. And so now those plays are in there, and if Flus is calling them, they would have Washington's fingerprints on them, even though he may not technically be calling the plays.
Oh, he definitely had an influence on this. I don't know where it came from, because Flus seems like the stubborn stick in the mud that wants to see it his way, and that's the only way he sees it. If nothing else, I might go to the lowest common denominator. He might have felt the pressure of Eric Washington and what he might do in situational football, and decided to step his game up so that Eric Washington doesn't get the opportunity to take over the play call sheet, getting told by, yes, this could happen. It could happen from upper management, say, give Eric Washington the play call sheet. I want to see what his calls look like versus yours. How else would you know what you have inside that building? And I think he might have felt that pressure. Kids, you're muted like you should be because you talk.
You're right, because I'm saying that's ridiculous. You know I'm about to say that's
some bullshit.
I hear where you're coming from. I get where you're coming from. It's a place of real insecurity by way of Matt Eberflus. And we've seen
that exists. And you don't think that exists?
No, I'm about to I'm about to give you your flowers.
CYA makes that exist.
Let me give you your flowers. So we've definitely seen evidence of similar behavior in the past. So this smells a lot like a certain Mr. Nagy, right? He definitely did not want to give up play calling duties under any circumstances. And that was what that was. I don't know if this team really needs Matt Eberflus. Like, I'm just going to say this out loud. I don't think this team needs Matt Eberflus as a defensive coordinator. I don't think they need him as that at all. I think we have one. I think he'd be fantastic if given the opportunity. I think what this team needs from Matt Eberflus as a head coach is actually managing a football game effectively. That's lacking. That is a portion of the Chicago Bears that desperately needs support. If two guys are holding on to the one, the one clipboard, we're never going to get somebody actually paying attention to the management of the football game itself. Well, that's what Matt Eberflus needs to do. Let go of the reins, bro. Let it go.
That goes to, Eric Washington is the defensive coordinator. Let him defensive coordinate. And, and Flus, you worry about when to, and the communication on when to throw the red flag, when to go for two, those game management, crunch time decisions, instead of being, there's a game crunch time decision. Well, I'm calling these defensive right now. I ain't got time for all that bullshit. And it's like, dude, you're the head coach. And it's like, he's so, I don't want to, just say that he is, but he strikes me as so insecure about things that he's so concerned about everybody else's room. And then when it comes to the head coach office, he's lacking there because his focus is on everybody else's thing and not his own thing. Too many.
Brother, look at what Plank just said. Look at what Plank just said. He just put the dot on the I, cross the T2. You can be, you can do two things and be average, or you can be one thing and be great.
Right.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Right. And he's trying to do five things instead of being one.
I'm just saying, Matt Nagy suffered from the exact, again, an offensive coach versus a defensive coach, suffered from the exact same dilemma. Had to be the offensive coordinator, refused to relinquish the reins, give up the clipboard, and by no stretch of the imagination was a single football game managed effectively. So we can expect that to continue as long as Flus holds on to the clipboard. About that simple.
All right. Let's go back into weak ass Mark Sanchez and let him make some more great points right quick.
Dirty.
Here we go.
Essentially. And it's got to grow and it's got to change and it's got to adapt. All these counters and different plays you see and the off script stuff that the Chiefs have, that's 7+ years of reps, throwing in the off season, talking through coverages, understanding it, seeing it the same way with Kelsey.
What he's talking about is the Chiefs and why their shit looks so much better than everybody else. He's talking about 7 years of, trying shit and failing and, doing the shit that works over and over again to where they know what to call during the game.
And Mahomes and all these guys, they've had these core players. Hey, here's what we're going to call this. Everybody's overplaying this when we run a specific route. We're going to hit them with a counter. Kelsey, you're going to block this time. We're going to send the other tight end out on some of these routes and fake them out. Like, there has to be growth there. But for the first year with a brand new offense, brand new quarterback, it's okay to be simple. and subscribe to that simplicity and understand what you're getting into. Sure.
Because we're in the infancy phase of installing an offense. Infancy phase, I have to put an emphasis on that. This install of this offense is literally Similac level. You're not even crawling, you're not even getting a hot bottle, you're not chewing on, gnawing on food because you're teething. This is straight up infant shit right here.
Sure, some of these teams, you'll be overmatched a little bit, but these plays are designed when they're executed properly to score or to at least gain, 4 to 10 yards, something like that. So, okay, if we can get 11 guys to do this play right, even though it's the first day install play, it should work. There's no reason it shouldn't work. So it sounds simple, but it's not easy, right? In theory, it's pretty basic. In practice, it's awfully complicated.
We're talking with Mark Sanchez, Fox Sports NFL analyst, and as you've been speaking, I think I've recognized a fundamental question here, based on what Caleb Williams talks about. And over the last couple weeks, he's used the word comfy. And I just think it's a cute way of talking about where they feel, like you say, they feel good about what they are doing regardless of opponent. And they made it clear that maybe they thought Shane Waldron was maybe being a little too opponent specific, getting a little too cute and saying, look, let's figure out what we do and let's do it. And
what he's talking about is the week-to-week design of a game plan specific to fit whatever opponent they're dealing with, versus doing something and doing it well. And regardless of what opponent you're dealing with, you're going to do this shit anyway and dare them to stop it. And that goes to a conversation Coach T has been having all damn offseason to apply this game plan to your script. And you don't have to change anything because this simply works if you execute it well. And so basically, at the same time, to be the devil's advocate, they are in infancy phase of trying to install what works for this team and finding a formula. So you're going to try everything, right? And so you're going to be trying shit just to see if you can catch a flow or some kind of rhythm with the quarterback and find where he's comfortable. So the exploratory phase is important in this conversation that they're having right here. So they're just trying to fuck around and find out for the most part.
And when I hear you talk about growing pains and time on task, that is essential. That's positive discomfort is how I would look at this. So on the one hand, the quarterback craves some comfort, but a developer of the quarterback is also craving growth from discomfort.
100%.
How do you balance that while trying to win?
Well, that's a great question. I think if I had, a pamphlet on that, I'd be a billionaire or the best coach of all time.
All right, well, let's go into business. I'll get it printed up. We can partner on this.
You got a printing press over there?
We'll find one.
So basically, here's how you have your own system, right? Whether it's a West Coast system, let's say, for example. Then you have the players you've acquired via trade, via draft, and develop, however you want to call it, right? You assemble this roster of 53 people that are going to go play for you. Well, that offense, as it's built, has to be catered to the talent and skills and ability of the players you've acquired.
Stop right there. Does that not explain why I said exploratory phase of installing the offense? Because you have to figure out what fucking plays you have on your call sheet that's going to work for the pieces that you have, right? You don't have the same pieces that you had in Seattle. You're not Sean McVay. You're not dealing with his offense and the pieces that he has. You're the Chicago Bears coach. You got DJ Moore. You got Keenan Allen, got Romo Dunze, DeAndre Swift, and all these other pieces with the rookie quarterback. How do you make them fit? It's the aggregation of all these pieces, pouring it into the sum and trying to figure out how you get your average. And that's finding your rhythm. Am I right, kids, or no?
I don't know if you're right on this. I'm not 100% sure. Because I have monkey wrenches, and so like they're being thrown. So monkey wrench number one is like, so what's going on in Washington then? Are they not in an infancy stage?
Absolutely.
Well,
But
shit's working in Washington, so I don't know.
They're doing something that's universal to all NFL defenses, getting under center and putting the defense in a conflict in the back seven part of their defense, because you have to honor the run. First of all, they're running the ball halfway well.
Yep,
that helps everything. I'll just stop right there.
Well, this is you kind of have to, because the questions still remain: why during this infancy phase weren't those things being done more effectively, right? We can see it being done in other places who have very similar makeups, right? And why I immediately went to Washington is because, again, rookie quarterback, new head coach, doesn't really have tenure there, doesn't really know the team, just kind of coming in. Dan Quinn, good guy. You also have a brand spanking new offensive coordinator, brand spanking new offensive, head coaching squad across the board. So they've got just as much unfamiliarity as the Bears do. But again, they're seeing success on the ground. They're seeing success with their rookie quarterback. So
different personalities.
I'm gonna say one name. Free agent center badass that they signed, whereas we signed Shelton. It all starts right there.
That's a good point, but I think on a broader point, it's just two guys that see it differently. I think we've always, in my opinion, I was going to always give Shane Waldron some leeway, because we're fans and we're hyperbolic. I think we tend to give me mine now. Why aren't we getting it what we want right now? This microwave kind of way of thinking.
No. That's not what I'm saying. I'm making the comparison between two offenses in their infancy. Like, so to acknowledge what you're saying, I'm going to say that yes, they are in their infancy. They are in their infancy phase. But again, we are seeing other offenses who are also in their infancy stage look much better than ours does. Right. So I'm understanding that it is that early time for these guys when they're going to build and move forward. You kind of have to look at the other guys out there and make a bit of a logical comparison. And I hate to say this, but I have a strange feeling that at some point in the season, Jaden Daniels is probably going to have a little bit of a plateau.
Can I give you a little bit of a couple ways to think about that?
Yeah.
Real quick. Think about how our offense is set up and who we feature as a running back, and how they tried to get him off and tried to get him involved early in the game. We have less of a physical running back as opposed to Washington Commanders guys that they have a more physical downhill type of running back that they're gonna install that kind of offense versus what Shane Waldron felt like DeAndre Swift brought to the table. Let's get him on the outside. Let's get him in the open. Let's try to get him some open lanes and get him open that way. And they tried the perimeter running game, and it went horribly. Versus Washington, who has a physical running back, and there's no getting on the perimeter with this guy. You get this guy open in the middle, you open up lanes in the middle of the field, and you get this guy going downhill. It's going to give you positive yardage right away. They got that going right away with Brian, I forget his last name. Brian Robinson versus what we had. And so right there, if you can get what I'm saying, you devise a different kind of game plan right away because of the type of running back that you have versus what they have in Washington. I'll give Shane Waldron that. he was trying to get DeAndre Swift off and running on the perimeter game. Whose influence that was, whether it was Flus, whether it was Waldron, they were definitely trying to make their presence known in the perimeter portion of DeAndre Swift running the ball, and it blew back in their faces. Instead of running the ball up the middle, which they don't have that type of guy as their starter.
So, okay, so to summarize, just to make sense of things, both teams are in their infancy phases. One team decided to, being the Bears, decided to force feed perimeter rushing, wide zone, as opposed to utilizing inside zone, even against two teams that and this is kind of scathing as I'm sort of bringing this to light, right? To summarize where we are, right? So as opposed to running the ball up the center, inside the tackles, inside zone against a team who had, personnel issues inside, and then against the next team who also had a history now of having issues interior zone rushing. That's terrible. That's just bad coaching.
Makes me question who had
what I'm hearing also is the two things at the same time. This offense and Waldron are very nascent, and they're trying to find their footing to see what works. Whereas Kedz is saying, why aren't we game planning for the weaknesses of the defenses that we'll be playing and exploit those? And it's like, well, they're not doing that because they haven't figured out what the fuck they're doing yet.
Well, maybe what you're doing should be what they're not good at.
Well, kids,
they haven't figured out what they're good at yet, though.
No.
It goes back to what we were talking about.
We don't know what they're good. If you don't know what you're good at, because they clearly don't, again, infancy phase, do what your opponent's bad at.
It goes back to what we were talking about in the offseason and who was more pro style, NFL style offense ready. Was it Caleb Williams or was it Jaden Daniels? And clearly, Jaden Daniels, to me, when I look at the tape, was clearly the more pro style ready for the NFL quarterback. Caleb Williams was always going to take a little bit more time. Not to say that he wasn't going to be pro style ready. You talking about the way their setup was versus what we had set up. You clearly had to get Caleb Williams more comfortable under center and play a pro style offense than you had Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is getting off to a hotter start because of the setup that they have and his ability to be able to play more comfortably in that setup versus what Caleb's had to feel this shit out. And he's starting not to look so bad at doing it, man. So we knew this kid. We talked about it.
No, brother. You know what I mean? Like what where we are right now in this conversation, I fully expected Jaden Daniels to perform well because of that pro style capability that he had and experience doing so in college, as well as what Cliff Kingsbury brings to the table as an offensive coordinator, coming from the college ranks, as well as having experience doing it in the NFL. Kind of get all that, and I expected it. What I didn't expect, and we just nailed it a couple of minutes ago, what I didn't expect was the Chicago Bears to forget how to run the football. That's the missing link.
Well, they didn't forget. They haven't learned yet. They didn't forget. This is a new offense. They haven't learned yet.
I kind of wonder who was the heavy influence on that in those game plans. It makes me think Flus. I can't help it, but my spidey sense.
Why could you blame it on Flus and not Chris Martin?
I kind of know how what goes on inside those buildings, and I can't explain it all in one breath. But I know.
You think Matt Eberflus is running the run game?
He has an influence on this shit.
There's no way he has an influence on the run game. There's no way.
You gotta be kidding.
No. Remember, Simo is the only remaining offensive coach, and he was a Flus guy. So he's like the offensive mole for Flus. Simo is, I think.
So, that's a fair thing to say, Triple R. I just don't think, this guy's got too much shit on his plate. Like just he's a head coach of a football team. You can take responsibility for everything, for all the rooms, all the players. You can't, because realistically, it all rolls up to you at the end of the day, and shit runs downhill. But if you're taking on additional responsibility in a room you know nothing about, while, and let's nail this down, while watching that aspect of your team crash and burn for 2 solid weeks, 3 weeks, yeah, there's no way he's signing up for that. There's no way.
Well, remember, we're talking about, Coach Flus, who is loyal to a fault if he's like in with you. There was the running back coach that got fired last year for putting his butt cheeks on the copier machine and photocopying his ass and sending it to all the distributors. And then, Alan Williams was flicking boogers in the cafeteria, so he had to be let go. Flus didn't fire none of those dudes. That was HR's doing. But this is Flus's staff. So this gives you an insight on, is he not disciplining his coaches for doing shit? Are his coaches, that bad of a character that, they got to be fired by HR, and Flus didn't address these issues? And, it's just when the coaching staff, members of the coaching staff get fired for doing heinous shit in the building, that kind of reflects on the head coach. I mean, these are your charges. Now, there are a couple guys that are going down in flames, not anything to do with football field reasons. Why are you hiring these kind of guys? Did you not know this? You've known this one disgusting son of a bitch for years, and you ain't know he was going to be disgusting up in here. And all the time, Flus always, even after games, has that ability to say, hey, it's not my fault. We got to execute. Hey, it's not my fault. He put his ass on the copy machine. Hey, it's not my fault. He was flicking boogers in the cafeteria. So, I mean, it always seems that Flus is deflecting than, like stepping up and saying, hey, I'm the CEO. The buck stops with me. My bad. I got to get a better character of coach under me.
All right. Let's hold on, kids, because I know. Let's get back to some more good news, because it's some good news right now. Let's point this back out.
So there's going to be a little tweak there. Now, you do what your offense has in that playbook based on their skills. Then when you play specific teams, only certain parts of your playbook are going to be live that week, if that makes sense, right? Like if you're playing a team that doesn't run any cover 2, well, all your cover 2 beaters are pretty much out the window. We're not going to really use that section of the playbook. Or because of a certain blitz they have, we can't protect like this. So all of our slide protections this week are out. We're going to go man protection with everything, okay? And we're going to need chips on the edge because they got 2 really good stud defensive ends, whatever it may be. Well, it works like that with coverage and scheme and then situation on the field. You have your own red zone plays, but defenses play specific red zone defenses. So you got to carve out certain things that work for those defenses. And then not only are you running your base plays, that is your identity, now you got to come up with.
He's talking about getting under center, playing play action, and doing that whole thing that works on every play calling sheet. He's talking about describing that and not having to change that because of your opponent.
These game plan week to week specific plays that have long tags, a lot of words. They take a while to spit out in the huddle, and that's why they're using the wristband, right? So this thing, when somebody says like his offense, Sean McVay's not running the exact same offense he was running last year. He doesn't have Puka. He doesn't have Cooper. Like, they can't do that with certain guys. So how do we piecemeal this thing together? How do we get by for a few weeks, throw some duct tape on it, and try and win some games? So those are the things you're battling constantly. And I'm sorry for the long-winded answer, but it's so complex, and the nuances of it are nearly endless. So that's kind of what they're going through, all while being a first-time coordinator installing his own system with a rookie quarterback. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, and a bunch of guys who haven't played for the guy.
See my point? It takes time to fit everything together. And it gives back to the conversation about everything being in an exploratory phase, trying to figure out what you are, who you are, and how you're going to play football in the first 4 weeks of the season. Getting to that next 4 weeks of the season, hammering down who you know you are at this point, and really forcing your will on teams, and then into the next 8 games of the season, and that's your run.
You keep bringing up that connotation. I get what you're saying about the breakdown, but wasn't that Nagy that always said, you know, we got to break the season down into 4 quarters? And right now, this is the first quarter, you know, the first 4 games, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, it's like the whys. It's just bad flashbacks, man. Don't mind me. It's like tripping on shrooms or something. I'm all right.
It's all right. I can relate, Tripler. I'm sorry for him.
I wasn't that tied into Bears content at that time. I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know what the fuck Matt Nagy was saying during those days.
Oh God, you missed the Matt Nagy era?
Oh,
you did yourself a favor, bro.
Every game, the whys, the fourth quarter, the quarters.
Where are we at, Triple R?
I don't know, man. I'm tripping, man. I don't know, man.
All right, let's finish this up, man. He's almost done. You're gonna hear some more nuggets.
So it's really difficult, and to win a game, let alone get a few first downs and orchestrate a scoring drive, is like, that's incredible. That's an incredible feat in itself. So it's there's a lot going on, suffice to say.
No, that wasn't long-winded. We have the time. That was great. Like, we've had a lot of questions today specifically that I think your skill set and your background speak to. And we didn't even get to the possibility of, say, Devontae Adams going to the Jets. Like, that hasn't even come up yet.
All right, that's it. I thought there was more, but there's not. You know, as Mark Sanchez, here's a good thing about a guy like him that's gone through the rigors of the NFL, the ups and downs that come with it, the successes and a lot of failures that he's had. He can retrospectively see things in a way that is unique to him, you know, and somebody that's failed. And Kedz is making faces, man, but I'm telling you, somebody who's had failures can tell you a lot of stories.
Sorry, the face wasn't for you, dog. The face was for, you know, the face was for this comment. I'll just pop it up. I'll read it. It's ridiculous, but it is what it is.
Don't disrespect our guys, man. He's our guy.
Hey, I'm not. I'm not disrespecting the guy. I'm saying this comment is ridiculous. I've said ridiculous stuff too.
Yeah, read it out, then. Read it out.
The internet complains about it. Checking out Gypsy Mike. Williams sucked in college, preseason, and the first 4 games. He should have been sat 1 to 2 years to learn behind Bajan. We could have went to the playoffs, and instead we'll be lucky to win 5 games.
Absolutely. The Heisman winning quarterback should sit back and learn behind a D2 quarterback. Logic.
No, I would ask Mike.
Dude thinks it was a little bit ridiculous as well. I don't know about the rest of you guys.
I would ask Mike, did you just pop into the show? Did you watch the whole show? That's what I would want to know, just to see what kind of perspective he's looking at versus what we've been saying the entire show. The entire show, we've been painting a picture, Gypsy Mike. So I would encourage you just to rewind it back to the beginning and see how we got here.
Well, I will say odds are that won't happen. And, you know, some there's folks out there who just have a specific set narrative and they're going to look to, you know, justify that narrative or that you know, that ego, if you will. You know, that's truly what it comes down to. It comes down to ego and pride. But he's a rookie. I don't know what you guys really expected. They got rid of our quarterback we had. I thought he was pretty good. They got rid of him. They drafted a rookie. I think the rookie's pretty good. But facts are, you're gonna have to wait for the rookie to grow. I don't know. And I've seen it a couple of times, and I see Aunt Mass saying Judah, and like it's probably Judah. Judah's the only, like, I'm just saying, Judah's one of the few guys who's out there screaming TB7, you know, 17. And I think the kid's talented. Yeah, I got shit for saying Fields wasn't good last year. All I heard was he needs more time. Okay. Again, like Fields, for me, and where my head has been this entire time, it's never about just the individual, it's about the team. So I was always for the Hall case scenario and keep Justin. And not to say that Justin is the greatest quarterback in the world or the worst. I just figured, you fix that O-line, a little bit less problems. Here we are. In any event, I hate to say it, Gypsy Mike, but you're gonna have to sort of live with the fact that we have a rookie quarterback and he's got to grow into whoever he is, because most rookie quarterbacks take a little bit of time to develop. About that simple.
Let me say this, man, because I think this is a roundabout way of saying that patience is required when you're doing this stuff, and that's not easy to accept for the fan base because they're fans. People are fans. They want to see success. They want to see wins. They want to see this, that.
I'm hoping to see some better offense earlier in the season, and we haven't seen it.
There's a lot of people running around calling Caleb a check down Charlie right now because they haven't seen him.
He should be.
Well, yeah. What I'm saying is, right now, while he's finding the rhythm of doing what he needs to do under the center and getting that game plan off and running, he's going to probably look a little mechanical like he did this week, and he'll end up with 157 yards from checkdowns and passing the ball to guys and catching and running. As he starts to develop and mature, and this is the key word, getting maturity, and this is the key word for not only Caleb but for Shane Waldron in calling the scheme for the guys that he has, it's gonna mature. It's gonna mature. Everything about what we're doing is gonna mature. Like this week, I'll tell you, you can mark this down as prophecy. They're going to take shots down the field that they didn't take last week. They're going to take some shots downfield against this defense because there's opportunity against the secondary that they probably haven't seen on film yet. So everything that people are saying about Caleb now, this dude's going to take some shots down the field this week, and we hope he hits them because that's not been a strength of his so far. But I do think this is the week to take those shots.
Well, yeah, against this defense that we're going to be looking at, like to Ked's point, if this offense were to scheme up the weaknesses of this defense that we're facing, taking shots and learning would be part of the game plan on both sheets, for the offense growing and for taking advantage of this defense.
Yeah. All right. I'll tell you what, man. I think that's enough football shit for today, man. I do think we're in a good spot, and I feel good about this week because I do think they found something this week. And
it's the Panthers. Either Andy Dalton's going to come back in here and just light us up on some crazy revenge shit.
And you and your pessimism and your
I'm not being pessimistic. I'm being realistic. I'm saying that's the worst case scenario that can happen.
Man, we're gonna have a good week because we're gonna have a good week.
I'm a Libra. I look at both sides. I can't just you're so positive all the time. Like you must shit rainbows and such. I'm just saying. You gotta look at both sides. If somehow this goes sideways, it's because Andy Dalton came in here and was breathing fire. That's basically what happens. Outside of that, this is not a very good football team we're going up against this weekend. We should win handily.
You know what else I shit, kids?
Puppies?
MCs, goddammit.
Oh.
Oops.
This is something so incredible, they not compatible to me. Eat them up like I was Hannibal.
House.
In the corner had swagger like this is something so incredible, they not compatible to me. Eat them up like I was Hannibal, they cattle to a beast. Graduated from the hunger, now was rappers that I feast. And I'm coming for each and every one that you said I couldn't do. Now I'm circuity swagging, or you bums doing this interview. Call it an interlude, talking to you in the foods. Got nominated, I know they hate it, they sick of dude.
How many of you motherfuckers even remember Ace Hood? He ain't nobody memorable for me, but do y'all remember him?
I do. He's all right.
He's all right.
Yeah, man, he had like this song and like maybe
He's got some good verses out there on a couple of tracks. He does.
Verses, right.
All right, here we go.
But if you're sick and new, I feed the lanes of flu. Get a man and buy a coupe and drop the roof and just the cruise. Show you what the swagger do is on the highest altitude. They can't fit my sneakers, shoe the best rapper attitude. See the young get in it on the beach and see the features on my face. I can't erase it, go my swag is so amazing, home. Catch me at the top of throw with Big J and Pac alone. Falling like a karma on the next best is on.
It's only two men I fear when it comes to a battle. God in my shadow.
Okay, first line, kids. It's only two men that I feel when it comes to a battle. God and my shadow. How you feel? Nothing?
I miss who's rapping. Who's rapping right now? Who just came in?
Joel Santana. Probably the best verses he ever. Joel's the best verses he ever spit. We'll start that over.
God in my shadow. Two men I fear when it comes to a battle. God in my shadow. Everybody else get unraveled, tangled, mangled, totally disabled. Hung from a roof, watching dangle. Then I make your wife feel a pain too. Anal, Joel Santana. Forget those busters. The boy flow harder than Kimbo's punches. You boys better step aside before I get it, guys. You just bugs. I'm spitting that pesticide. You're not mobsters. Wait, stop the fake, or get found dead with your head in that pasta plate. Money in the bank, I benefit from my benefits. I'm making it while I'm spending it. You go to the Louis store, you go to the Gucci store, you go to the mall, spend it all. What he do it for? You could buy the rags, you could buy the bags, but it ain't no sign that say they sell swag. But you could watch me and do your best imitation. You need a little time, a little preparation, but sooner or later you're gonna have to face it. I'm like the penthouse, you a fixed up basement.
That's a good one.
By the way, that chain is floating around my city somewhere. I'm just letting y'all know that.
Oh damn, y'all jacked him for it.
Yeah.
So it's such is the rumor.
I'm just saying that you just I'm a penthouse, you a fixed up basement though.
Mm-hmm. Hanging down, hitting your head and shit.
Let's kick it though.
As far as chicks go, I get it, you take it. I give them all friends. They call me Nathan.
Lyrically, it don't matter. Up and come or has be. I'm in your ass, B. Who's the next Raz B?
Did y'all catch that, Trip?
Yeah, it was cool.
I don't care who you are. He said, I don't care who you are, up or comer or has been. Basically, I'm in your ass, B, faster than Raz B. Raz B is a rapper that came out saying that his manager did some things to him. I'm just gonna leave that right there and keep on before this go any further.
The Diddler.
Wordplay king, I'm not the one to scrabble with. The Rock's got.
Hold on, that's already a hell of a line right now. He said he's the wordplay king. He's not the one to scrabble with. He got more carrots in his wrist than rabbit shit. Kids, come on now.
More carrots in it than rabbit. Yeah, and after these little lines, you might see why I lie. I need a deal signs, cause everybody coming in the year is failing. Ask why, and they just play Sarah Palin. I'd rather be in Maui, parasailing, cause when you in the lead, you don't care who trailing. So get your little money, you isn't a threat. When we was making it rain, you wasn't drizzling yet. Right, Meech, death before the sauna. The swagger's like mine, cause I left it on the corner. So fly, I got a shop at the Sky Mall, and this summer we get more drops than eyeballs. Low.
Here comes the thoroughbred.
Yo, I tell you this much, hip-hop is not dead. Change gonna come just like Barack said. Money, power, respect like the lock said. You'll be the man of the house, my pop said. Heat the streets up right quick, it's all timing. Gucci everything, Sierra Leone diamonds.
Heat the streets up real quick, it's all timing. Gucci everything, Sierra Leone diamonds. You know how much shit people went through to get Sierra Leone diamonds?
There's a whole song about it.
Good Lord.
Yeah, there's a whole movie with the African dude and
there's that too.
What'd you say, Trip?
There was that movie
Blood
where my man hit the diamond between his toes.
Yeah. Just look at the motherfuckers in the background when he was saying that heat. Here we go.
You'll be the man of the house, my pop said. Heat the streets up right quick, it's all timing. Gucci everything, Sierra Leone diamonds. You can know so much yet, but know nothing. If I don't know nothing else, bet I know hustling. This ain't even a rhyme, it's a controlled substance. Strictly.
This ain't even a rhyme, it's a controlled substance. Strictly iron swinging, no tusk.
Iron swinging, no tussling. I just do business. I don't substance. Strictly iron swinging, no tussling. I just do business. Control substance. Strictly iron swinging, no tussling. I just do business. I don't do friends. Brand new M1s and 9 MMs. Long as money's involved with it, I'm in. You ain't got to second guess the best. I'm him. I will wrap circles around these new purples. Everything's digital. Nerves are still purple. So I'm staying in my lane till it open up. I'm like a sponge in the game. Just soaking up. On, I deserve a hit. I know you heard it, Kiss. This is the cipher. I murdered it.
Give me a break. Give me a break. The boy is ill, man.
Yeah, it was cool. It was cool.
I got. Let me look. Hold on. I got one more little cipher, man.
Shit, I got one for you. You want to go for a little thing?
Hold on, man. I got to control it so I can pause it, man. I got it so we don't get murdered with the copyright shit. Hold on. Let me see. What y'all say? Do y'all say the Eminem, Black Thought, and Mos Def over the Rough Riders, or the Rough Riders over them?
Six in one hand, half dozen in the
Not
other.
sure if I've heard her play it.
All right. Hold on. Let me go to it. Here we go. Hold on.
Hey, what's up? This is Dangerous Voice. Here to talk to you today about
This is the ill one, though.
Smooth Teas is here to serve you one delicious cup at a time. The goal is to offer exotic flavors. If you go to smoothteas.com, offer for any purchase. That's
Peace. Welcome to the Cypher. Black Dante, Black Thought, Eminem. Here, Brooklyn, I gotta do this.
Oh, this one.
Real quick. Yo, for sinners, saints, and scramblers, and gamblers, and dirty money handlers, dignitaries and champions, narcotic traffickers, talented number runners and racketers, stars and stage plays and camera slang swingers and swaggerers, double barrels and damages, automatics and miracles, Europe, Asia, and Africa, all the time in America, Atlantic, Ashland, Albemarle, to Albany, Verge in the Baltic, Bedford Ave, Bergen Street, Clinton, the Cabin, Church Ave, the Clad and Road, the Central Avenue, Cooper House, Cypress, and live from Bedford-Stuyvesant, the live is high flying as pilot, bombardier from Pirate Station, live and direct. Medina mastermind said they can't lock my set and I lock off. Cool, peace to the nation of the gods and the.
You see how he slid that goddamn Caribbean dialect in there?
Yeah, that's why I like it.
That's why I think he's one of the dopest motherfuckers I ever heard in my life.
Why? Because he's got a little bit of Jamaican in him. He's actually super dope.
Because he knows how to apply it and it flows. It's not that because he's got that in him. Look at how he applied it to the rhyme. Look at that shit. That shit was
I like Mos Def. He's one of my favorite MCs for sure.
All the Albany, Reds in the Baltic, Bedford Ave, Bergen Street, Clinton, the Cabin, Church Ave, the Clad and Road, the Central Avenue, Cooper House, Cypress, and live from Bedford-Stuyvesant. The live is high flying as pilot, bombardier from Pirate Station, live and direct. Medina mastermind said they can't lock my set and I lock off. Cool, peace to the nation of the gods and the earth and the sun, moon, and stars. Furthermore, born knowledge go hard.
And then he kept it 100 with the black, with the African thing, man. The whole thing about having pride and being an African. It's the whole message here. It's the entire message in the rhyme, but he flowed that shit, which makes him, to me, when you can do that kind of thing, it's elite.
One of the more slept on rappers.
Say what, kid?
I'm just saying, one of the more slept on rappers out there. To be honest with you, I haven't heard any of the What's his name now? Triple R.
Yasmin Bey.
Yasmin Bey. Yasmin Bey. I haven't heard any of his stuff under his new name, but anything with the name Mos Def for the most part, good stuff, including hip hop history for you guys. Urban Thermodynamics, UTD. Check them out. Mos Def's first group with his brother and sister, I believe. They've got a song called My Kung Fu. Dope song. The one that's even doper is called, oh man, hold on a second. Manifest Destiny. Bomb track. You can find that played out right now. But
hold on, let me do this, man.
Rising up out of the flames like a phoenix, training to carry the weight of my brain like a genius. Knowing I'm sowing seeds, let's see who summons the Venus. If I said it, I mean it, and did it because I need it. Eat, sleep it, and bleed it. Write it down and then read it. Asphalt to the cement, your trash talk is deleted. Blast off, I lay your mouth like a Tempur-Pedic. Black thought, I told you I'm a winner eventually. This unsung, underrated, underappreciated. The one them underachievers had underestimated. Finally graduated from something that's so hated. The one of the most sacred. Nobody going take it, face it. I keep doing it well. Doing it signs and sisters. It's do it yourself. Doing it below the radar. We doing it stealth. Doing it again for Philadelphia. Who else? But check it out. Y'all see them on a job.
By the way, Philly, I have to admit, I've heard some of the illest rappers I ever heard was from Brooklyn, Queens, the Bronx. I've heard some ill ass rappers in my day. Probably some of the illest I ever heard was out of Philly, man. Them motherfuckers right there.
Woo! It's a different flow, man. It's a whole different flow.
They hungry.
You see it with him. You see it with really that whole crew.
Cassidy,
the whole Cassidy's the guy I was gonna get to. Cassidy's a monster out there, especially as a freestyler. Off that Philly flow, Meek Mill. You know what I mean? It's if you really listen to these guys, they all kind of have the same flow. Meek, Cass.
You know what it is, Kansas? You know what I think it is? I think they got a chip on their shoulder. It's like when you that close to the epicenter of where hip hop started, and they get all the shine and the glory. You gotta think way back. These motherfuckers are sitting on the perimeter of that shit, hungrier than a motherfucker, and building up their rhyme chops. And that's what I hear coming through on records. And when they do shit like this, man, it really, them motherfuckers from Philly is ill. If you want to find an ill rapper, go to Philly.
Y'all see my eyes focus where the prize be. I'm like Martin Luther King, you like Rodney. The difference is I give it everything inside me. Dead diary, my fans still swear by me. Even though I'm late night now, like here's Johnny. Swimming with them big whites now, that's how to find me. Funny how it break right down, but never mind me. I'm forever grimy. Guess it's just Philly shining. Rock roller, bipolar like Phyllis Hyman.
You know, I always respected more and liked more the punchlines and the metaphors and assemblies, like Black Thought was just saying. He's more like Martin Luther King. You're more like Rodney, as opposed to the diamond or money references about how braggadocious MCs are. You know, it's like, yeah, okay, whatever, dude. You know, whereas Black Thought is like, Rodney, Martin Luther King, is like, oh shit, those parallels, those differences. And it's like, they're just on a different level than the more monetary MCs. I just enjoy that level more.
Look, if that dude wasn't an absolute jerk to me, he'd be in my top 5 rappers of all time. Like,
but you gotta look past that, though, kids.
No, I can't. What do you mean? I had a personal experience with the guy who's a douche.
Okay, just slide that aside and give him his MC props.
I do. I'd
be in his top 5.
You know what I'm saying? He's that good. He would be in my top 5. He's not in my top 5 because he was a douche. Literally that simple. I'll leave that story for another time. But again, as an MC, as a rapper, he's great, man. Those early Roots albums are fantastic albums. If you haven't heard them, you've made a mistake in life, and you should go back and listen to them. They still track today. No word of a lie. Those first 3 Roots albums, maybe even 4, they still play. Like, I played them a month ago, and I can't play a Tribe Called Quest now. It just doesn't feel the same anymore, and it hasn't for a long time. Them Roots albums, yo, they still play, and they play great.
Check out the salt and the pepper and how he makes himself stand out.
Like a dope fiend opening up a bottle of dopamine. You just hoping he don't get broke or your throat could choke anything. Oh, and just think how dope he could be if he smoked anything. Oh, there goes the bell. The sound.
How dope would I be if I smoked it if I didn't? Are you kidding me?
The opening ding. I hit you as hard as ball hit you. It's in the ribs with a switch and stitch you at the same time before you can clinch to it. My dick is so big, if I add another inch to it, you would swear when I ripped you that you was actually into it. I'm not a baller, but you can bet your bottom dollar that I remember when I was without a dollar bill in my wallet. Now watch me kill a koala while I'm all at Chihuahua. Bum a pillow for Paula, like let me holler at you, mama. It's like I'm off the bomb bar when I bring the fucking drama. Used to bomb you like Saddam, but now that I'm a little calmer, I'm a fucking cross between Osama, Dama, Obama, and Guy.
Osama, Obama, what?
Somali, I'm a knight shining armor. Mail a gift to Taylor Swift trailer. A picture of my genitalia with a note saying, I can't wait to you. Drug paraphernalia. Beware the werewolf will kill you. That's him in his sheep's clothes. He just shaved his hair, Cecilia.
Beware the werewolf will kill you.
Eminem, the real Slim Shady, he's not into the horror rap like the Grave Diggers or like that dark side of it. But he's very dark because mentally he's bringing it from a dark place.
Oh, bro, he buried his girlfriend, his mom. He's a dark guy, bro.
Yeah.
he might be a white dude, but he's a pretty dark motherfucker at the end of the day.
But it's not that horror hip hop. It's more that mentally insane in the membrane kind of hip hop.
Yeah, he's got special needs. But
I
like him nonetheless. Huh?
This is the last one, man. We're gonna roll up out of here after this one, man. This is the last one.
I'm out of Harlem. Other rappers garbage. Nigga know it can go down tonight when we get down for life. Let a nigga know it can go down tonight. What? We untouchable.
DJ Premier.
Look, Jack, look. Murder Mook, I'm out of Harlem. Other rappers garbage. Ironic, they expecting it to change, saying nonsense. Being honest, they should never let your records play. They shouldn't let y'all in the booth on election day. Speaking of that, it's sad, cause Republicans holding the jars to make Obama look bad. If they want to borrow 5, it never ends. So I say if the old chill Cinco, my advice, don't ever lend. I spit elegance, jump if you want, whip elephant, big body, the trunk in the front. How you want to start on finished payment? That's ass backwards, abbreviate the Social Security Administration. Look at Mook Zuckerberg in the making, trying to win from always, cross ventilation, cause racket in the club, why the long faces? I tell them, it's all love, give them 4 aces. Remember days when mad teachers teasing me, asking me, how you throw the mic away so easily, writing rap.
And he just got into, they say that your pain makes you into a better writer. He just was getting back as one of his teachers saying that he wouldn't be nothing and blah 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 and all that kind of thing, and this is his opportunity to put the pie in her face, basically.
They ain't even gonna get you a GD. Well, hey, Miss Shaw, look at me now, I'm on BT. Easy. Yeah.
DJ Premier.
Listen.
Anytime a person laughs, another person
Cassidy
cries. Anytime a person born, another person dies. The industry is too commercialized. Them dudes in them shirt and ties would do anything to merchandise. The way my pinky ring blink, it'll hurt your eyes, blur your vision, and have you squinting, give you the earthful eyes. I put in work, I don't work the job, but I
Oh man, I love this cat. He's one of my favorites too, man.
Cassidy
freestyling, not a lot of MCs off the top of the head are this clever, man. He's dope.
Cassidy is the shit.
squeeze the piece, you try to take my Jesus piece word for pie. For the shit I put in work to buy, I grip the ratchet and cut at you dickheads like getting circumcised. All of your verses pie. Why is you in the booth? You never been the truth, cause all the bars in your verse a lie. And I don't like those niggas dressing like hoes, wearing tight clothes. Wear some pants and a shirt.
I don't like the motherfuckers either.
size. Lyrically, I'll murk you guys, cause I'm the shit. The rhymes I spit can keep the grass fertilized. I ain't never lie. I got cats that got tats and tears under their eyes, but they never cry. And they'll let it fly. Disconnect your head from your body. Have you looking like the lowercase letter I. I wear clothes you could never buy. My wardrobe above average. You maggots was never fly. You boys cowards. I can make the yours ours if you cross the line like the lowercase letter Y. For that cheddar, I'll let it blaze. Knock tomato sauce out your meatball, give you spaghetti legs. Better behave, the eagle under the white tee. If I don't feel you, dog, I'll kill you, dog. Mike V, I'm fly from my hat to...
What did he just say?
I don't even know.
He said,
yeah, he was ripping him up.
He said he referenced Mike Vick. Check this out.
Give you spaghetti legs. Better behave, the eagle under the white tee. If I don't feel you, dog, I'll kill you, dog. Mike V, I'm fly from my hat to my Nike. Shit's like me, cause my pipe the size of an average.
He said, if I don't feel you, dog, I'll kill you, dog. Mike V.
Mm-hmm. On the iced tea. I stay with that white girl, I'm like iced tea. But you ain't about that life, you ain't nothing like me. Never. Your money short like Spike Lee. The boy trapped is trying to get more cash in. The boy spazzing and got all the whores in the crowd of the hip-hop awards having orgasms. Cassidy.
Listen, been away but stay in top position.
That's Eve, by the way.
None of y'all can see me, I stay blind in competition. Revving up my engines, always known to go the distance. In my lane, it ain't no others that can match up my persistence. Feel good, man, I'm home. Queen on the throne, telling soldiers, raise the flag, make it known. Yeah, I'm in my motherfucking zone, they better leave me alone. I ain't playing with the kid, man, I'm grown. I still fight like a pit bull, kill like a lion. It's real cause I'm hood while you trying it. Yeah, I be on jets and yachts, but still grounded by my block. If I ever have trouble, though the grimiest, let me just remind you this. Ain't been nothing real since I left. I'ma need all this fake shit to catch a depth. I do this for my chick that don't rest. Don't stop until you the best. Talk amongst yourselves, I need to take a breath.
Yeah. He's still tough with it too.
For man. You can try, but as you fight, just can't seem to do.
Of course, that is the vicious one himself, X.
Right, can't fuck with the big dog. Nigga jeans are too tight. Been doing this for too long. Plus dog is too strong. Let you cats wipe me off the map with a new song. And you know you wrong for trying that shit there. Yeah, the nigga went there. Oh, you did shit there. Been rapping for 20 years and you 20 years old. X is back on the block. Be lucky for gold. And the new sheriff in town just been reelected. You ain't gotta like it, respect it.
He says the new sheriff in town just been elected. You ain't got to like it, but respect it.
Check it. Get it in till a nigga wins with the dividends. And we gon' walk these dogs till a bitter end. You like, oh, it's him again. You knew that's how you felt. Pussy, I knew that's how you smell. Don't fuck with cats. Cats pussy. And niggas been pussy since you was in pussy. You can put on the best, but I'ma still stop you. Cause I got a chopper now, so like a helicopter. Niggas really don't want me to pop the trunk. You gon' either drop a slump when I cock the up. Whether the block or pump. Cats ain't ready. Hand from here to here. Looking like spaghetti. Pull out the machete. Hack off the limbs. Bag up the pieces. Wipe off the Timbs. Jump in the Benz, 5 cars deep, 4 o'clock in the morning, riders don't sleep, shut shit down whenever we hit town. Never niggas back, that ain't my get down. You can bring out the best, bring out the worst. You bring out the worst, they gon' bring out the hearse. Niggas play poker, but I play poker. Hit him from ear to ear, make him smile like the Joker.
Ooh, that last line. Oh my goodness, that last line. Here we go. Gotta do it again.
Oh, bring out the hearse. Niggas play poker, but I play poker. Hit him from ear to ear, make him smile like the Joker.
He went to prison on their ass. He said, motherfuckers play poker, but I play poker. Hit him from ear to ear and make him smile like the Joker. That's talking about using a blade on a motherfucker. Oh my goodness. But yeah.
Uh-huh.
That's ill shit right there, man.
Yeah, it is.
Ill. But hey man, I just had to make sure we leave the show with some of that in there, man.
Wait, hold on. Because I thought about y'all the other day when I was rocking out to some stuff. Now, are you familiar with chaotics frequencies? Because you talk about frequencies a lot, and if you can, imagine it, you can see it, you can do it, being on those frequencies. And when I was listening to the song, I was like, oh shit, nobody I'd be talking like about this shit. And I just want to know, are you up on that group and that song?
Heard about them, but no.
Yeah, Chaotix, K-O-T-I-X. And the name of the song is Frequencies. So check them out.
K.O.X.
No, dash.
K-O-T-I-X.
Right. Chaotix.
I'm on it now. I'll tell you what, I'm gonna check them motherfuckers out, and hopefully we can get back to the next show and maybe get into some of that shit, man. But that being said, man, how about this, man? Let me pass it on around, go around the horn right quick. We done 3 hours of content straight for you guys, man. We love you, Super No Maniacs, and we love having you here, but that's how much love we got, man. We can do that for you guys. So let me pass it on to Canuck for some pleasantries before we bounce.
Yo, salutes, shout outs, big ups to all you guys for showing us some support, showing you guys love right back. I'm pretty sure James Joseph is into the sauce. That's fine, James, if you are. I like sauce as well. This show is all about sauce. Extra sauce. Anyhow, big love to you, James. Thanks for coming through. Shout outs to AC Adam, as per normal. Always awesome to have you with us, AC Adam. Same to you, Derek Carter and Derek Gibson, too. Big shout outs to you, brother. Mad love to Mr. Mayhem. Always good to have you, Mo Fugra. Have a good night, sir. I know you're off. Who else is out there? We've got Marlon Johnson dropped in with us for a little bit. Black Diamond 2. Shout outs to you. Shout outs to checking out Gypsy Mike. Gypsy Mike ain't a big Caleb Williams fan, but it's okay. I'm sure he'll grow on you. It's all good. Plankster, mad love to you. Mad love to Sheep Plank and the Plank family. Shout out to good old Scottish Bear from across the pond. Hope you're sleeping, dog. Get some rest. Aunt Moss, what it do, my brother? Hopefully all is well. Who am I missing out there? Mitch Osborne, always mad, always awesome to have you, brother. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the love, as per normal. Shout outs to Coach T, Chicago Bears 360. By all means, check out his channel. Check out Sports Chicago Style too. My God, Triple R underneath me. Mad love to Triple R. Shout outs to T3P Podcast. Shout out, no love for Don Burr. Shout outs to It's Crimson, you dig? Mad super shout outs to you, Smitty Q. Little bit of extra love to Patty Laura, who was in here with us. Shout outs to Armando Jr. My bad, Junior. Always do it, Junior. FFG Style, what's cracking? The Naj, BT9, King Booker World, Deuce One. Who else am I missing? Am I missing anybody else? Leo Factor was rolling with us today, too. I think that just about rounds it out, man. But it's been a big 3 hour slice. I'm going to go get me a slice after all this. Triple R, take us home.
Yeah, big up to the whole Nomad network crew, to all the Nomaniacs, all the aforementioned, and all that will watch this later. And got to give, a little self-plug to Sports Chicago Style. That's the channel. That's the .com. That's the social media sites. And, this past week, Chef Trips, he put up a nice recipe with a sirloin steak with like a garlic herb butter sauce. And, that's looked delicious. And then Trip is doing his hourly, weekly exercise vlogs. And he and Coach Tripping are still in production for those self-defense moves, and it's like a whole category of blocks, punches, kicks, and the different body parts and how you use them. So we're trying to get the content and keep it rolling, in addition to the game previews and post games from the Bears. But, of course, it's October, so it's Chicago. Baseball season's over. So, we'll have that Cubs and Sox wrap up. But, as the Sky wrap up, but the Bulls and the Blackhawks are just kicking off, or dropping the puck, if you will, or having a tip off for the basketball, if you want to keep the sports analogies going. So we're going to, speak on all of that. So it's going to be a beautiful content-filled excursion at Sports Chicago Style. Help us get to 100 subs as we are on that highway, ignoring all the speed limits and all that good shit. So come on along for the ride with us.
Number one, if you're here and you haven't went over to Sports Chicago Style and hit the sub button, you're dead to us over here. You're dead as shit over here now. Come on now, that's what we do. Is we support each other, man. Let me give a special shout out to my guy Trips and my guy Kids and the anchor in the background. My guy, the dude Nick on the ones and twos back there, making sure everything is held down and we're solid over here, man. We do some absolutely unique content over here. We got these guys on the screen you see here today. It's just obvious when we get together, we make some very unique shit. And we do the same Chicago Bears podcast, but not like nobody else. We do our shit the way we do our shit. And I think we should be acknowledged for that. I'm going to do that for us. We do some very unique content, and it's different when you come here. It's just presented in a different way. And I think people feel that, and they come back for more and more of it every time. And so I just want to thank you guys, all three of you guys, for always being there for whatever we need. It's just a beautiful thing what we can do when we get together, man. And I just enjoy it. And I just want to say thank you, man. But I wanted to give a shout out real quick because pencil in tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central. I know there's a Monday night game coming on, but you can do more than two things at once. All right? You can do more than one thing at a time. You can watch our show. We got Glenn Morgan coming on from NBC Sports Chicago, formerly of NBC Sports Chicago. Excuse me. He should be coming on tomorrow for a Nomad Live. We're going to set that up and have that ready for you guys tomorrow. But with that being said, let me say thank you to everybody that came and enjoyed the show, everybody that participated and had something to say and had comments. We respect you guys and we love you guys coming here and supporting our new content. Some extra sauce at the Super No Maniac Lounge, man. It was fun. I absolutely enjoyed doing this with these guys. This ain't work to me. But I hope we tied some loose ends up as far as this the Bears team goes and where we are at this point in the season and why it makes sense to be more patient and to recognize exactly where they are in the exploratory phase of what we're doing. I think it's I think the way we presented it tonight probably made a whole lot more sense than being hyperbolic and overreacting to what you're seeing on the field. I think people will recognize more of exactly what we need to do moving forward. Let's just say that and leave it there. But I do appreciate you guys one last time. But before we get out of here, I got to leave you with these famous words. If you can think it and you can see it, you can absolutely manifest it. It's just a matter of you getting out of your own head. Don't be a prisoner of your own mind and make shit happen for yourself. But with that being said, I gotta just say peace out. We're out.